Banter with Richie B live.
Near these huts.
Yep.
There is something going on here.
Behind us after. The trees were fucking moving everywhere. Yeah, bro. Goosebumps.
Maddox, you were with me. We looked this way. It was not like this.
Welcome to Banter with Richie B. Yo, what's up, everybody? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's back. Yeah, we've seen it for a while. Oh, I'm live. Look at that. Say hi, Wojo.
Hi, Wojo.
Good morning. Welcome to Banter with Richie B live.
Somewhere beyond the beaten path, beyond the whispers in the woods and the stories around the fire, lurks one of the greatest mysteries of our time, Bigfoot. For decades, legends have echoed through the forests, footprints left behind, sightings that defy logic, and questions that demand answers. But this isn't just folklore. This is a call to investigate, to explore, and to uncover the truth. Banter with Richie B isn't just another show. It's a community, a movement, a hub for genuine research, real conversations, and boots-on-the-ground discovery. Every episode dives deep into evidence, expert interviews, field investigations, and the drive to seek what others say is impossible. If you believe in asking questions, if you're ready to get your boots dirty, and if you think the unknown deserves more than just a passing glance, then follow Banter with Richie B. Stay informed, stay sharp, and maybe, just maybe, be the one who finds the truth hiding in the trees.
I love you, baby Jack. I want you guys to keep climbing. I love you, Mama. Wojo's gonna get us out of here because that's what he does.
That's right. Nice meeting you all. Thank you for being on air. And yes, we are all of the phone. Let's go.
This November, Banter with Richie B honors Native American Heritage Month. Join Richie B and the podcast team as we celebrate the voices, stories, and strength of the Indigenous people across our nation. And don't miss our special live roundtable, Saturday, November the 15th, where we'll be joined by remarkable Native guests sharing their history, culture, and wisdom firsthand. Let's listen, learn, and honor together. Banter with Richie B. Real talk, real stories, real people.
Woo! Wow. I know. I got a lot of videos playing in the beginning, and everybody's like, just stop it. Dude, that stuff is badass. I get so fired up back here. I'm all like dancing. I'm like, oh, let's get it. Oh, let's get it. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that. Woo! What a show we got lined up tonight. You know what's funny was I was just telling everybody backstage, like, you know, we put our video out there by our awesome, of course, our amazing, legendary producer Sam, who's one of our guests tonight, I might add. And I just kind of let that ride, man. I let it ride. I didn't push in a lot of different areas. And, you know, if anybody's missing this episode, then that's on them, because we have a very, very, very special, unique episode that we want to sit down and not only grab people's perspective on their lives and experiences, but we want them to kind of see our process as well and share it with them and ask, you know, maybe not just for their blessings, but maybe a direction or you know, something that they could add to it, you know. it's just amazing. So I'm just super excited. This is kind of a personal one for myself and more so for Wojo. He's poured himself and his heart into a lot of different ways of messaging and communication. So that's where we're at. Let's get Wojo in. We got a lot to cover tonight. We have a lot to tell you about what happened today. Our friends are all backstage, chilling out, eating grapes in the green room. That's Ernie's favorite. Ernie Dalio loves grapes. Right, Ernie? 2 at a time. Anyways, here comes Wojo. All right. Well, that's right, Jim. I want to welcome to the show the co-host, Wojo.
Tansei, okay. And boom to everybody out there. Thank you for all being on here.
All for being on.
Looking forward to this, man.
All being on here for. All for being on here for.
Excuse me.
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, everybody, I want to welcome you to the show, of course, and remind you that we are on Dark Realm TV.
Where fear lives.
On every Roku television, every Amazon Fire Stick. And guess what? We're not the only ones on there from this show. Our very own producer, Sam, had her big Dark Realm TV debut last night at primetime, 8 p.m. So if you want to see some crazy stuff, paranormal stuff, even that crazy inhumane wrestling we were talking about today, they have all kinds of stuff on that network, $4.99 a month. Go over there and hit it. Get over to our shows and make sure you tell them how much you love it. So Dark Realm TV. We're also on the free app, Media Squatch. Download Media Squatch app. It is absolutely free. Again, we're not the only thing on there. There is tons and tons of stuff on there. And I am in talks. We're both very busy guys with the owner about having our own little Banter with RichiebB radio station right there on Media Squatch app. So you don't want to miss that because that will be live. That'll be live radio happening. That's going to be pretty kick-ass. So, and then H-Low Outdoors, Dustin Daniels out there. Get over and check that out. A lot of good outdoor tips and wilderness tips, hunting tips. And then, of course, the Bigfoot people, Wojo and I. Wojo, what the hell did you do today, buddy?
Oh, what are we? Well, we went out and we were doing some filming with our very good dear friends, Susan Ahern and Daniel Grom. And I'll tell you, we had a blast.
Yeah.
Great people, great insight. I mean, that's all we can ask for. And just a lot of discussion. There's a lot of discussion of what's out in these woods. We did a little walk around and we did find some structures and
yeah, that was weird because it was across from my house, and I've called Wojo twice. I think once at like a midnight or something. I was like, dude, they're across from my house. They're across from my house. It was summertime, and I had the window open, and I'm sitting right there, and there's a little bit of a breeze. It was a nice night, and I'm hearing football across the street from my house. I'm on a dead end, and if you know the mapping area, it's you got to maneuver to get in here. And I've had conversations in the past with people about things falling, them following your home in a sense. And we've had an experience with one of our other investigators. We were just talking about today as well, Lisa, where we had this self-illuminating eyes in the woods, and then we did the show that night, and she was freaked out noticeably on the show, and I think it was like you pointed out, D-Hoot said it, what's wrong with Lisa? Yep. And she acted calm and cool, but she had video and pictures of these self-illuminating eyes in her backyard 15 miles away. So yeah, anything's possible here, right? So we're gonna find out a little bit more about different possibilities anyways, because we have a pretty kick-ass panel, bro.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Dude, never ever in the history have I seen this. You know what I mean? This panel and type of panel as far as like knowing, just knowing. I don't know. I love talking with Ernie, for instance, right? An elder guides us. I don't know Don. I can't wait to meet Don and talk with him. I checked out some of his stuff because you had told me that he was going to be on the show. And just so you know, we both kind of work together hand in hand to get people on the show and do things together. So Wojo actually works pretty hard grabbing people. So, and I do mean grabbing.
Yeah, that too loosely.
Let's say hi to our audience and let's get rolling. And, again, a little bit different of a format. I want to know the history and, their thoughts and all that about the history. But I also want to present to them some of your messaging and communications methods that you've used and maybe get some insight there as well. And then maybe we'll have a conversation about what are we dealing with? Because sometimes I have to ask that. I want to thank, again, like Wojo had mentioned, Sue Ahern, Daniel Groom today. The director, Daniel Groom, and producer, Sue Ahern. They were here at my home, and we did some filming, very respectful, just amazing people that I trust with my story, people I trust with Wojo's story. We've already been down that bad road, and I'm never going back there. And just amazing just to sit with them. And it was just like sitting with family or friends and having that conversation and just kind of laughing a little bit, joking, letting me be myself. And even Daniel came over afterwards and said, man, you guys are just kind of natural around the camera. And I'm like, we don't even realize there's a camera on us, buddy.
Right? Natural, eh? But that's how we are. That's how our investigations are, the podcast, everything's organic.
Yeah.
And fresh. That's how we roll, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say hi to everybody. Already D Hoot's asking me how many hearts were given yesterday on the live. Unfortunately, I'm at the beckoning whim of YouTube to whenever they actually process that video, then I can go in and look. And sometimes that takes a long time and even longer now that we're monetized because they got to count my money and take most of it. So that's how that works. They're like, hey, you got a donation? Okay, I'll take some of that. Thanks. I'm like, were we married once? All right, here we go. Let me see. Hey, Country Carpenter has been making a comeback, everybody, and he was the first one in tonight.
Yeah, double C.
Yep. So then our boy Denny O, of course, that's a family member right there. What's up, buddy? Love you, man.
Hey, Denny.
Oh, and here we go. We had just mentioned her name.
Yep.
Everybody get over, like, and subscribe, and make sure you follow our friend Susan Ahern, the Happy Medium. Check it out. Lisa Ann is in the house. Hello, Lisa Ann. I think I saw her in, was it her, Lori, and Tyler? I was watching another YouTube live show last night. Dude was walking around by himself out in the woods getting growled at. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. Like everybody else is like scared for him. Like, he's fine. If they wanted him eaten, he would have been eaten by now. It was fun because I don't usually do that. And I don't watch people to like pick their methods apart. I'm not like that. You know me. I love it. I love anybody that gets out and puts the boots on and gets the strolling, right? I just wasn't as panicked, and I don't really get that perspective too often. So I think I'm going to do it more often because I enjoy it. Hello, Ronald from down in Florida. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ron.
Forrest Friend. What's up, Forrest Friend? Kurt W.
Good old Kurt.
I love Kurt W. D-Hoot. What's D-Hoot got to say? She opening up her show with facts. You see that shit?
Good evening all. I just watched a thing on John P. Harrington, who in the early 1900s traveled and recorded native languages to preserve them, sometimes learning from the last elder of a tribe.
Oof, terrible. But a great fact.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, everybody's. Curious Cryptids is here. Hello, Curious Cryptids. How are you? Good to see you. Robin is here. Robin, hello, Robin.
And our boy Martin's in the house.
Where's Martin? I didn't see Martin.
If you scroll a little bit down from Robin.
Oh yeah, because you're always up front there. Because I have to scroll back. You don't have to. Gene Tewksbury, what's up, legend?
What the hell?
Yeah,
hey, Gene.
Our legendary friend. She was out doing boots on the ground today up in Maine.
Yeah.
Love you. That's always good to see her. I miss them guys. Can't wait to hang again. Martin, there he is. What's up, Martin? Martin. Hey, Martin. Where'd you put the car? Don't you hate that the next day? Well, Wojo, we have a quaint little audience, and I'm looking forward to this. And I would like you. Would you like to bring our Sam, the producer, out first? Or would you like to just blast everybody on the stage? This is kind of your making in a sense. So what would you like to do?
I like to blast them all out because you know what? It's time to open up the world to them and let's have this conversation and have some fun.
Oh, all right. So we're just going to get right at it.
Right at it.
All right. So I'm going to blast everybody out one by one, and then I'll say their names. They can raise their hand so everybody knows, even though everybody already probably knows. How's that? You want to do it that way? Because I'm going to blast them, bro.
Go ahead.
Blasted. 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 Everybody's been blasted onto the stage.
Hey.
All right. Everybody knows Ernie Davio. Hello, Ernie.
Hey, Ernie.
Okay.
Hey, Ernie.
Mama, there's Mama Bear Claw.
Hello, Mama.
Français. Okay.
Okay.
Junior et toi.
And there's Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
And Dawn Yazzie. What's up, brother? Say hello.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Yate.
Dude, I love the name of your
Yate.
podcast. I love the name of his podcast. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just noticed. I just saw that, and I remember I saw it somewhere. I checked it out the other day. The "Don't Whistle at Night" podcast. Right? Is that clutch, dude? I love that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I kind of want to change your logo around because it's mirroring on you. You see it? I love that. That is badass.
Yeah,
And-
that is cool.
Yeah, and you see Ernie. Look at Ernie's building a little spot for himself with all his stuff from the New England Encounters at .etsy.com. Yep.
Yeah.
Check that out. Elder Medicine Bear Claw. You can follow her on YouTube as well. And make sure you hit the notify button. She's kind of like me and Wojo. We're like, random live. Let's go. right, Elder? But it's a lot more fun that way when you don't have to really worry about it. You know what I mean? And of course, Sam from Sam's Pretty Paranormal, Sam's Pretty Creations as well, her digital creations that she makes. Make sure you like and subscribe to her. We've been trying to get her up to 1,000 for like 6 to 8 years or so. Sam, why you keep blacking out? What's happening on your screen?
I have no idea. I don't know what's wrong with the camera.
You're a producer of our show. I need you to get it together.
I know.
You're technologically advanced, damn it.
Yeah, no, my laptop,
Yeah, fine. What do you got hanging up? What do you got hanging up behind you, Sam? Is that a bunch of trash bags?
No, it's just a black leather tarp thing.
A black?
I just
Wait,
threw it up.
time out. A black leather top?
Yeah. It's like, it's faux leather.
Yeah, girl, we don't need to know nothing about your personal life. You need to slow down.
Oh, God.
You need to slow down, all right?
No.
Jonathan!
No.
Jonathan!
Oh, my God. I used this in a short film. Thank you very much.
Great background, though.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It looks like wind torn. All right. Enough of my bullshit. I know.
Well, you got my office, so.
Yeah, we know what's going on over there. You're over there. What do you rent? What are you renting rooms? I hate that delay because when Mama Elder's just staring at you and not laughing, I thought I was dead. I'm looking at her going, oh God, what did I say? How about last night on our live episode when I said, you better not make anybody do anything around here or something. She goes, I can. I was like,
I can.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
when you said no.
Yes, thank you very much. I know. Then she hurts her elbow. That was funny. So if you're not watching our
Funny
YouTube
bone.
live investigation, nothing funny about the funny bone. If you're not watching our YouTube live investigations, you're missing out on a lot of great evidence, a lot of great research, and that's why we kind of brought you here today. We want to obviously celebrate the month of November, which it should be basically all the time. I don't get those months, but I figured, hey, what the hell? Let's highlight it, right? Right. So we should all celebrate each other all the time, as people, and we should actually celebrate our friend in the woods too all the time. And I hope for that day, one day when we can, where everybody is treating the research with respect, the Satunga, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Sabe, however you want to say it. When we're treating them with respect and their home with respect, and understanding a little bit more, and catching up on what we do is, we're more about try to get to the good old process of research and be respectful and not listen to all this crap about science and we need a body and all that bullshit. And we're trying to get people's mind away from that. You know what I mean? So let's meet everybody individually really quick, and then let's have a conversation if you don't mind. I want to ask a few questions about the history as your history goes, as far as the knowledge of the Satunga, and I'm going to call him Sasquatch tonight because that word seems to flow a little easier for me. And then I want to ask you guys about our methods and get a little bit of your insight. And I figured if we just reversed a little bit differently than most podcasts do it, then we can kind of see how close we are as to the process, right? We bring a bunch of people in, you have that conversation, and then you can check your process, right? And I got to tell you, a lot of the communications, and I've said it a few times here already, that's kind of Wojo's drive. So I should have made you the host tonight and me the co-host. That's what I should have done. We're gonna do a show like that, I think. Don't you guys think I should be a co-host for a night? And have Wojo host a podcast?
Maybe.
maybe not.
We don't ruin that flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's start with Dawn. Dawn's the newcomer here. Dawn, thank you so much for accepting the invite here, bro. I'm very intrigued to learn a little bit more about yourself and you know, all your socials and stuff. Tell everybody where they can find you, and explain a little bit about your background, if you don't mind.
Before I can start off, I would say, out of respect for my elders, I'll let my elder go first, if that's okay with you guys.
That is perfectly fine. Absolutely.
Gentlemen, right off the bat. I love it.
Yep. Go ahead, Elder.
Thank you.
Same question, Elder. What is she doing?
Oh, wow.
Can you hear her? I can't hear you.
She's laughing. She's blushing.
Can't hear you.
Elder, are you there? Oh my God, who did something to the microphone? Nope, now she muted it.
She's all, did you mute me?
We still can't
Down
hear
here
her.
at the bottom.
No, we can't hear you.
At the bottom.
Your mic must have got turned off.
How did she do that? She was just here fine talking.
Could have just hit it with her finger by
hear me?
accident.
Ah!
Now we can. Yes.
Yes. Donald said you must go first.
Goodness.
Tell everybody where you're from, and tell everybody where to find you, and give us a little something about your history, and if you don't mind.
I'm Elder Medicine Bear Claw. I am the first, now, but I'm going to say it the way I say it. I am the first youngest elder in the state, but now there's two. So, as I'm Blackfoot. I come from the Blackfoot community, and I live here in the California state. I used to travel back and forth when I was 5 till I am now 63 years old, and I still investigate many things that are out there in the forest with Mother Earth. And I do many other things. For those who I fought for, the people, I'm going to use a proper, excuse me. They're too loud in my ear. I got councils over here. We're watching, so I want to make sure I'm saying the proper way. To help other Americans understand, but yet ourselves, we have native laws that we have to pertain to. It doesn't matter if it's Navajo, Cree, Lutoka, or Apache, any other tribal. But I speak languages, and I was raised as they say, Inyokotoa, a young girl that wants to be like boy. So I do a lot of things. I wouldn't have the challenges. I'll do the challenge. So as I was growing up, learning different medicines, and then they said, you are who your spirit is, and that is a bear. I killed my first bear at 5 years old with a bow. Oh, and I do have the fangs and their claws in my medicine bag, along inside with my mom's old one. So I was taught many different things from different tribal stand of community to protect not just our help others understand what is with Mother Earth. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder. Dante,
That
thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, hi.
So real quickly, Elder has been monumental in our research, and her guidance for us and with us and to us has just been remarkable and eye-opening to us. And now the council is involved as well, and thank them. I didn't know they were keeping tabs on you in your ear because the crazy the Italiano guy.
That's what they're.
That's his nickname.
Yes, they
You tell-
told me to say the Italiano.
Oh my goodness! Tell them I said many blessings. Thank you to them. And if it's okay now, as you can see, we had Elder Medicine Bear Claw, her link up for you guys. Sparky will be bringing them to the crew. So, yeah. So now, if it's okay, Mr. Don, thank you for that respect. Thank you for keeping me in line, brother. You're up, my man.
Before I'd like to start, I would say ladies first.
Oh, wow.
We got to do that now.
Or
I'll run my damn show. That's where I draw the line.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, her. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, Wojo, go ahead. He's talking to you. Young girl that wants to be boy.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, you all know who I am, so.
No, we don't. But what's your background?
I know.
I don't know who.
Well.
Yeah, he don't.
Oh. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm Sam, and I hate my camera keeps doing that. I don't know why. I'm Sam Hunley. Sam's Pretty Paranormal. Sam's Pretty Productions. My background, I come from Cherokee, and unfortunately, I didn't get to meet any of my people. They passed away. The last one we had was my great grandma, and I am not gonna cry, I promise. So yeah, she passed away when I was
Where's your bag?
like 11.
Hold it.
I have it. She passed away when I was 11, so I didn't get to learn anything. Are you gonna show? Okay. Yeah, that's her. And she's holding my grandma, and that's my great grandpa.
It's okay, honey.
Okay. You got you, girl.
That's what I love about Sam. Sam has a great connection to her history, and she's been learning the language too. Just so you know.
Yeah, Elder's teaching me some stuff, so I'm trying to like learn that through her. But my great grandpa, he took himself out of the world, so I didn't even get to know him at all. And I do have a picture of my great great grandma, which would have been her mother. And yeah, I wish I could have known her. That was her husband Barry. But yeah, I don't know much about her, and no one can tell me much in my family about anyone. It's kind of sad, but yeah. So I'm grateful you're allowing me up here on the panel with all of these great people. So I don't have much knowledge to give, but that's my.
Thank you. Yeah, you do.
That's
You have a lot actually.
lot.
We love having you as part of our family, and I love the passion that you have about wanting to learn about your elders and the language that you want to learn.
Yeah.
And I watched her talk with BD Morgan from Dark Realm, and they were
Yeah.
using the language. And BD Morgan's an amazing guy as well, and very
Yeah.
much into his heritage. And he's really worked hard to bring it back to his children and his family, because it kind of went away a little bit as well. And that's what you're doing. And I look, I goosebumps, my hair's standing
Yeah.
up on my arms, because I love that passion that you have for that. And I'm a bit of a chain breaker myself with my life, so I can identify in that sense, where you just kind of want to stop that and then issue that passion to your children, so they understand. And I think it's
Yeah.
very, very important. And we love you, Sam. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
the candid
Thank
moment
you.
that you just gave us. And this, you're amongst family. You know what I mean? I think you know that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go over to Ernie, because that's Dawn's elder too. All right. So I'm.
So, well, hey, hang on a second here. You give it to
There you
Don,
go.
'cause
There you
Don's
go.
been
You already
passing
beat me
it
to the
off.
punch.
I got you, Dawn. It took me a little while.
Nobody knows how. Hold that, Don. You go right ahead.
No,
Old
yeah.
warrior.
No,
Old warrior.
listen.
Elder warrior.
Ernie's 26. He's just had a hard life.
Yeah.
He's on a second marriage again.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Go ahead, Dawn. He's giving you the floor, bro.
Well, so Sam's Patty's Paranormal. So you're the Sparky's Outdoor Paranormal, huh? On YouTube.
Sparky's
I
here.
see the
Oh.
link. Okay. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah. Sparky.
recognize. Okay. Yeah, I recognize that handle on YouTube. It's nice to finally meet you. And
Oh
I think I
yeah. It's nice to
recognize.
meet you.
Oh yeah, I think I recognize Elder Medicine Bear Claw on YouTube Live as well. It's nice to meet you guys. Everything is ringing a bell. Um.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you. OCO. To you. Miss Patty. Don's and. Well, Benito from Oz 75. Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you guys, my fellow humans, my five-fingered brothers and sisters. It's nice to meet you guys. Um, I am from the Navajo Nation, the Dene Nation, a place called Monument Valley, where all those Western movies were filmed, where you got John Wayne shooting my great great grandpa and his brothers. They all fell off the horse, you know. So my family's always been involved with Henry Ford and everybody like that, and uh, so our stories go way back. Oh man, I can just go down so many rabbit holes, but that's where I'm from, is the Navajo Nation, and uh, my life has always been filled with paranormal activities, from skinwalker to saber-toothed tiger to
Quando
goatman. So I got, yes, so I got a lot of other stories, but we'll stick to the topic of Bigfoot, and we can get very deep into his lore within our culture, the Dene. And I'm pretty sure every other tribe has a similar stories as we do. But that's where I'm from. I'm Dene, but clan wise, we have multiple clans, and so I've also descended from the Hopi clan or Hopi tribe and Mojave tribe, and also the Ute tribe. And non-Native American, I am also. We barely found out that I am Italian from Sardinia in Spanish. So we're all mixed. I'm just a result of the Southwest, of clashes of tribes and nations come together. So I'm a result of all that. And only thing I can share with you guys is my stories, and from uh, the things that I've been told that not many get to hear, because a lot of these stories we're told not to share with outsiders. But in order for us to preserve knowledge, in, in order for us to introduce ourselves, because we're always everyone always misunderstands us. on a daily basis. On everywhere you look, everyone misunderstands us. So we always keep to ourselves, and we always talk about Bigfoot, the paranormal with each other. Like as even though they're a different tribe, but it's okay to talk about paranormal because we're still cousins. But now we're all five finger. All of us have five finger, so we're all one family. Because a long time ago, when they would say how or yats, we always would put up our hands and we would count. We show how many fingers we have. If they had a sixth finger, that was the one to take out to kill because they're descendant of the giants. So there was always a hidden meaning behind everything. Just like that. This is a little tiny thing to say right there, but I'll let you guys chat.
No, thank you. No, thank you for that, Dawn. You
Thank you.
actually,
Hi.
and I think it's a great segue into Ernie as far as the hands go, right, Ernie?
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant because you're the one who told me that time when I had one of my encounters and I put my hands up. He goes, "You did the right thing," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And you kind of explained it to me. So introduce yourself, Ernie, once again to the world.
Yeah. Well, I agree with Richie. My name is Ernie.
Good stuff.
Try to. I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can because it is a really, really long story, and it was hidden from us. And the reason why it was hidden from us because my dad was taken out of the family when he was young, and he was brought to a farm. And I believe that they didn't want that to happen to anybody else in the family, so they hid their traditions. His mom and dad hid their traditions and even their speech, even their language. They would go into another room and speak their language. And I started catching on at an early age that they're, maybe they're just doing that because they're elders or whatever, but they didn't want us to hear. So hunting with my great uncle, he would tell me stories, and I think it was because he wanted to give me some kind of a tradition, give me something without me really even knowing it, because he always wanted me to memorize the story and repeat the stories to him, which was next to impossible sometimes. But I remember hunting with him. What started me off, he was getting older, and he was always kind of a member of our hunting party. We would go where he wanted to go, and in this particular time, is we had a really hot place to go, and he didn't want to go. He insisted on this one particular place, which bothered my brother and I. We were still young, and I'm just sharing this with you so you understand what's hidden a lot of times. And we were told, my brother and I, to take one route up an old called the fire road, and it was maybe about 6 inches of snow, 5-6 inches of snow, and they were going to take the right hand side into the pines and pull around and meet us up a little bit further or whatever at a certain time. But they told us if we had seen explicitly, my great uncle, he said, if you see anything that's out of the ordinary, that's kind of strange, click us on the walkie-talkie. Just click us. We'll go back to where we started from. And we did. We came across tracks in the snow. And I just looked at my brother and I said, man, I said, there's a nutcase up here running around naked in the snow, leaving tracks, But it came out of those pines that they were on. So, we agreed to click it. We'll go back. We met up with them, and then they started talking. They went off to the side. They started talking, and then my father came over and he said, whereabouts up there, about how far? And I told him minute wise on how far, and they went up there, and probably, I'd say half an hour or so later, they came back. And it really ticked me off because my father came over when my great uncle stood off to the side. And he said, we have to leave here. We're not going to be allowed to hunt here. We were told that we had to leave. And I was like, well, who told a naked guy running around the woods told us to leave, but I see no posted signs or anything. So we left, but it always stuck in the back of my mind, later on. And I remember too, when the first time I actually caught them, that there was something different about what was really going on, is they would go to Canada every now and then. My call them Pepe and my Meme, so they wanted to be called, and they wouldn't tell us what they're doing. Nobody would tell us what they were doing, and they came back after well, I got to say this, going through school, because we were pretty much forced to go to a Catholic school. And my sister was fortunate enough she could pick a language, and she chose French so that she would understand what they're talking about. Well, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, Kathy, I said, I don't believe that that's what's going on here, but that'll be cool. Then I know what they're talking about. Well, they went in the other room, they closed the doors, and they invited her in. She was in there for maybe 20 minutes, and she came out bawling her eyes out. And I said, what's the matter? And she goes, they're telling me I'm mispronouncing all my words. And I said, oh, yeah. Indeed, you are, because you're not Parisian French. They're leading you off to believe they're Parisian French to hide it from you. They are not speaking Parisian French. They're speaking Cree. They're speaking Metis Cree. Well, she denied it, and it's been, gosh, over 50 years. But when I had my encounter, I always kept my spirit. I just love to be out there. I just was so much at peace with everything out there. But the day of my encounter, or the day after my encounter, I decided that I wasn't going to study them. I was going to study me. I wanted to know why me, because if you're not familiar with the story, it would have been simple. If I had just seen one and it ran away or walked away, it would have been simple. But that is not what happened. In any case, in studying me, I found out more about my history, more about where my family came from, more about who they were, and more about Indigenous peoples, you know. So I developed relationships with, I had a lot of friends who were Indigenous. I'd hunt with them once in a while, or maybe teach one what I knew in hunting, you know, and we would share what we had. So it led me right up to where I am today in my encounter. And as I've heard you all speak, and even in the beginning, I am not here for me. I am here to basically give a message on them. You know, this is a very spiritual thing. There's a lot of things I don't talk about. Wojo knows for sure, you know, that I don't mention certain aspects. I don't go down the woo hole. I don't go biblical, you know, even though I've read all of that. I've read the books of Enoch. I've read a lot of things, 40 years. I've read all these things, and it took me a long time. And I discovered the most important thing for me was by, I guess they call it ghosting these forums and stuff. I would watch. I would go on. I would watch. I'd just become a member and watch. I seen all this bullying and stuff, and I said, I prayed. I did my prayer, okay? And for me, it was, please let there be somebody out there that this has happened to, that has had contact with them. Just please, you know, I'll lock elbows with them. I'll join. I'll lock elbows with them. Nobody did. So I came to the conclusion that the message was for me, that I had to be the one to not back down. And I like that Jane Goodall, because the most important thing for me is she gave me the courage and the tenacity not to back down, to stand up. And that's what she really did in that field. She changed science. She changed the way who ran that scientific community. And that's where we are right now, is people might want to be stuck on a structure, or they've been stuck on footprints. I mean, if you went hunting with me and you wanted to go hunt in a sand pit with no tracks in it, that's all up to you. But me, if I'm hungry, I'm going to go hunt where I got tracks, you know? So that is proof positive right there that they are there. I can't make anybody believe what these forest people, which I prefer to call them, because I want to put the 5 fingers on them for people to understand. You know, let's live realistically here. If we have a DB, hey, pirates always said you don't get any information from it, right? You're not going to get any information from them. You're not going to learn anything, and they definitely do. And you're going to hear it again. And many times that I've spoken, I've said this: they have a message for you. They have a message for all of us. We can look at all the biblical things that we want to look at. We can deny whatever we want to look at. We can be stuck in our own pits with our own sin of I forget what they call it, ego or anything else, that you get your mind on one track and you stick on that one track. This is something that's spiritual. This is something that can do something we can't do. And we're only going to know that through communication, to be able to sit down with them once again and be able to learn what that is. You know, I believe strongly on that, and I'm not going to back up on it. I mean, the people who follow that path are seeing things, are witnessing things that are happening that you have that other people have no explanation for. They can try to interpret like what I seen, what's behind me here, the hand signals. Okay, it was taken in the moment. It was taken in the context of when it was happening. You know, and I understand that the different hand signals, you know, they're exclusive, pretty much exclusive. They seem to have picked up a lot from many nations. Many nations. They've had contact with many. They've studied many. They study us while we're out there. But like Richie says, and Don says, the five fingers. Ironically, when he showed me several times, but the five fingers were together like this, palms facing me, and only once did he show me up close, and he wanted me to pay attention to his palm. So that being said, so I don't want to get run off on all this. I want to hear everybody else here, because it's really, now you know where I come from on that. To learn my native tongue would be a blessing, so I would be able to speak with other people, since all my family, my hunting party, we no longer can sit by a fire and share our stories, you know. And for us, for me, it was just an amazing thing to do with my elders. And now there's just me. So I've only heard one other guy. I'll end it with this, that I made friends with, and I asked him his first name, call him Stanley, and I said, "What's your last name, Stanley?" He said, "I have no last name." I said, "Why, Stanley?" He goes, "Because there's nobody that knows my name anymore." So yeah, it's kind of, some things are heartbreaking. You know, people think that whatever happened to indigenous people happened a long time ago. There's things that happened all the way up into the 70s, you know, and we do, you know, put up with a little bit. Our sense of humor is definitely, I think, now that I meet others, it's definitely a lot different, you know. But that's it for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Outstanding. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, no, I thank everybody for being here, and you know, I get the emotional aspect of a lot of this, and I appreciate the emotions. You know what I mean? It's not something that I just push away. If you know me personally, I get deeply involved in every angle, especially when it comes to Sasquatch and the research and the history, and that's why you're here. You know what I mean? That's why I want to hear, you know, from your angle of what Wojo and I are dealing with in the woods. Um, we've tried to always remain very respectful. For me, it was very natural to put my hands up and show them, I guess, as you say, the five fingers. And I didn't know that I was doing that in a sense, but now that, like, Dawn brought that up, and Ernie just touched on it, that could be why I was able to walk out, you know, calmly, and everything kind of changed from that point on. And it was natural for me to wave to them and say thank you to them, and say hello to them when I came out all the time, not realizing perhaps I was sending that message with my five fingers to them. And when Dawn just said that for the first time, I had never heard that. Thank you, Dawn. It brought me back to those moments, to where that's where I had earned my respect at that point, you know, because I wasn't throwing up whatever, you know what I mean? I didn't have a gun where I was aiming it at them, or I wasn't like pointing, or I wasn't like F you in. Wasn't any of that. For me, it was very, very natural for me to connect with them. And now I now I just learned something tonight through my research, which is right here in my podcast, is that I showed them that I was just like one of them. I was a human, you know, as I feel they are, you know. So I've left that whole, when I first started having these incidences in my backyard, it was all about production and TV and all that. So I went, you know, there's primates running around my woods, you know what I mean? And that wasn't the case. I learned it very quickly on the intellectual responses that I would get. And one was actually a growl. Like, yo, bro, you too close, you know what I mean? It was his way of saying, "Yo, bro, you're too close," you know. So I learned from that. So we wanted to bring in and kind of get, and Ernie knows a lot of our stuff, and of course Elder and Sam, but we want to kind of get a different perspective by sitting down in front of the camera and having this conversation, right? We have a lot of different things that we've been doing and trying that have resulted in a whole different level of research, we feel. And we've gotten responses that are totally different than what we used to get. For instance, I'll start right up, Wojo, and then you can kind of take over. I'm going to jump right to the gifting chair, and then when the hunting stand came in during hunting season at the beginning of this hunting season right now, a couple weeks ago, and we walk up and there's a hunter's chair, you know, up in the tree, a tree stand, and it's looking right at the gifting chair area, and we were immediately upset. And I walked to the left to get in to where the chair is, and him and Andy just walked. I forget what direction they took, but I took the path, and I remember seeing there was a structure there. And I said, they've never built a structure by the chair before. We even had a small structure that we were trying to get them to add to and stuff, you know. But this was a big structure, and it was about, say, 15 feet high, and it consisted of two other logs that were on the ground. I know because I found the spots that one of them laid. And it was leaned up against this arch, and it did that rectangle motion direction, which Wojo will touch on. He's done a lot of research on that. And then as we went around the corner, we noticed, Andy noticed something. He said, look up in the tree, and there was a spine hanging in the tree, a very clean spine, I might add. I actually have a picture of it tonight I'm going to share with everybody. And, excuse me. Thank you. Any luck with the other one? No, I don't know what I did with it. Thank you, Hannah. Sorry, I needed some water. I needed some water from some of the usher upstairs. You're the best. And so now all of a sudden we were like in a panic, in a sense, where I was like, you know, and then we had found the cross. The cross was pointing at the spine, and all this was different messaging. It was a level up of messaging that we haven't had before. And I felt right away the response was to move that chair as quickly as possible. Wojo immediately went into researcher mode, right, Woj? And you looked up the spine in the tree, and it talked about. Go ahead, Woj.
Yeah. So we went to just a quick summary, because Dawn, I know you're new here. So what we have is we found a metal chair in the middle of the woods, and so we decided to start gifting. We started gifting the chair, and it's not baiting them. It's just part of the research. So that was like about almost 2 years ago. Now we're having forms of communication with the Satanias, and we're creating an environment where it's their sacred place. So again, Richie was talking about so now about a month ago we saw a hunting stand and what have you, and everything's changed. So they put these bones up in the tree. Now, as we came in, me, Richie, and our friend Andy, I put a little small area I used rocks, which represent the Titania's, golf balls, which is me and Richie, and have that form of communication. But I also have Elder's blessed necklace, and also have a little cross. As I approached that, I noticed something different, and I noticed that the cross was turned upside down, but it was angled, like about 1 o'clock. And that's when, before I even looked up, Andy responded that he sees bones up in the tree. And so we felt different in there, that something was wrong anyway. But once I looked up, we saw the bones. And now we had to figure out, okay, what are these bones here for? So I kind of did, a quick investigation on bones in the tree spiritually in the Native Americans. It's death, rebirth. So we immediately you know,
What
before
is wrong with your sound?
we looked over and we saw these structures right where we usually walk into our gifting area, and it was a rectangle that it's like their markings that represent their territory. And it was funny because I was speaking to Ernie, and I was gonna make out a rectangle and put their rocks in there. And we know there is a big Satanya out there. His name's Salarin, and I have a bigger rock which represents him, and put our golf balls because we're like bottom down because we're in their home. Well, Richie goes, well, I think it's time that we need to pack this stuff up and move to a different spot out of respect. So we went to a different area. It wasn't too far away. It's across this creek, and well, I'm going to say approximately like 50 yards. And we put everything up, put the cross, everything on the chair, and we put the bones to the left-hand side. As we came the next day, everything stayed the same, and we were like really concerned now. But the cross was missing, and there was a leather rope that was around it. And I'm looking everywhere because leaves have fallen down, and I could barely see the cross right beside the chair. So I grabbed the leaf, and there's the cross. But the cross was missing that rope, but it was aimed at the direction where the bones were. So now we really need to like move it in a completely different area. And then Richie thought about a spot with his moss because he knew a certain area further down, like a few hundred yards away. And so we moved it there, and I placed the bones up in a tree. I gifted them. And then the next time around when we came, the bones were gone. There was nowhere to be found. But we have a jar of peanut butter. And again, I want to make it explicitly that it's not here to bait them or nothing. This is our gifts for them, and we bless it with Native American blessed tobacco. So the peanut butter I put was up where the bones used to be, and we just sat there like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And then I looked that up, and it's like that. This what we're doing was accepted. This is their new place. And so the cool thing is that they didn't take anything out of respect for us to know of putting our gift up in that tree and the bones are removed. This is their rebirth. And so, and then our next investigation later, then they accepted our gifts. And also on the ground, I either put make a circle for the circle of life and put us all in there, and they would move our golf balls around or the rocks around, and just have this form of communication, which is very important because and as as Ernie was saying, it's not about like, yeah, if you see one, yeah, great, but it's the form of communication that is so beautiful. And Elder's been with us for all that, and these are the pictures that we took because that's important to document of what they're doing. And where that circle is on the left, that's where the bones were. And
That's a spine hanging in the tree. Can I just jump in real quick?
go ahead.
Yeah. So when he's talking about that cross, the second time the cross was actually pointing in the direction of the peat moss. The first time it was pointing at the spine. So we just kept kind of following the direction of the cross. So you could see where the spine is hanging, but next to it, that's the structure they made. You see the arch and then there's two sticks, and it's almost like a rectangle coming down. Can I ask you guys, the panel, to convey on this, maybe a little bit? Have you had anything or heard anything like this as far as the gift giving goes, with a spine hanging in the tree, or perhaps a rectangle having the spiritual type of meaning anywhere in, through tribal history or whatever the case might be? Can anybody elaborate on that part of it a little bit before we go to the next part? Has anybody ever heard of that? I mean, I've never. It's wild for me after 10 years of researching that there's a spine hanging in the tree. You know what I mean? It blew me away, like literally shocked me. You know, Dawn, you got anything that you've heard of? You know, what? First of all, what? I'm sorry if I missed it. What state are you in?
I'm in Utah.
Oh, Utah. Okay, yeah. I think actually Wojo told me that. That's awesome. We have Idaho. We don't have Utah. Sweet. Is there any kind of history that you might know of or heard of? Anything like that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long stories. It's actually a couple cans of worms, and story that collaborates these and backs these up, and it's also a warning. But it's I can let everyone else go first, and I can go after because it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, I'm not coming to Dawn first anymore. I've learned my lesson.
It's gonna be long.
Elder, my friend, and we know we've gotten some insight from you as well. But that's out in the that's out in the field, so to speak. Now we have a little time to sit and relax a little bit. What do you know of? Have you ever heard of through tribal council or anything like this?
As first, I want to say hi, and then I want to say and we elders have many stories that I've heard from my elders, and they say sacred is sacred, but again, we can share only a certain amount. And I want to say that when they're telling you a different location, they're in the tree, they can say could be two things. One is hunt. Okay. Council says most important to know is that they are redirect you when it comes to bones, because as you understand, bones are very sacred, especially on Mother Earth. The guardians always protect them, and if they're bringing something to you, they want to share. They're trying to also educate you. I always believe, and which I have been fighting for this past 10 years, to give the Americans, the people, to understand how Mother Earth is with the guardian angels, what leave, because those who leave the bones, they're teaching you. They're having the trust with you. So if you do not break it, that means it's together. When you are showing them the respect that you come with much love and peace, then they'll redirect you. And that's what they were trying to do. Yes. I believe you tried 2 other times and they redirect you back to a second place. So, when you have the connection, you can move it, but don't bring it home.
Exactly.
You give back.
Yeah, I know. I think you're picking on me. I feel attacked. So my thing is this: in the studio we have a lot of evidence, and I do have bones that are here for research, and they were broken, and the bone marrow was taken out. Now this here, if you look at it, and I showed the picture of it, it's a beautiful spine. You can see how clean it is. You can see even like a little bit of breaking on one side where they might have squeezed it or whatever the process was for what they needed it for. And I was like, my first instinct is, wow, that look good right on my desk and all that. But it was funny because this particular time, I didn't feel that. I felt like I had a job to do with it. And I did. I just picked it up and I went. And when we put the chair in the second spot, I immediately hung it to the tree, on the tree right next to the chair. Like I knew what I was doing. It was wild because typically it's like, oh, that's in the backpack. That's evidence. I got to go home and research it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that in this case. I put it exactly the way I found it. And then when we moved to the correct location, Wojo put it exactly where he found it. It was like, that's what we felt we needed to do in here. It was totally different, guys. I'm telling you, as far, and I'm talking to my audience right now. You guys have seen me collect things for research and evidence, so to speak. And this did not have that feel or vibe. It was instinctual for me to take it and hang it next to the chair as if to do what they did. It was kind of like, how about there? How about there? How about here? Like what you're saying, Elder. And it was wild and unique how it felt so right. You know what I mean?
Right. Also, there's the spirit of Mother Earth guides you as well as the guardian, which Satangas, Sabi, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. We all have different names from all different tribal nations. Now we try hard to explain to the Americans, but like I said, being an elder and one of the council's members and the attorney for tribal nation to help them in whichever, we have to teach our young, which is our young one here, that don't matter from what tribal, to a young to a next elder. When you hear the stories from your family member, it's sacred. But when you're trying to explain in their, forgive me for this, I don't like saying it. Sam knows I don't mix. But the guardian angels all know that we're doing the best. And when you try so hard to follow what Mother Earth is giving you, that energy, and the Satangas, then the same thing. So sometimes it's harder for you to reconnect. But if you're in the investigations for many years, it takes trust and patience for them to interact with you. And they will tell you, they'll either sign with you and they can understand the language you speak because they understand all language. Every state has different clans, but they also will direct you. There are calm ones that you can communicate properly. There are some that are very aggressive and they don't want you around. But again, our ancestors, our other elders teaching us, in which we try to teach our own family members, you need to listen. They are the people here. Many of us try to give the secure to everyone, but judging is bad. So I immediately keep trying real bad, and I repeat, and I get yelled at. I get scolded from the other elder council members, and it's from Alberta, Canada, Edward, Canada, Navajo, Dakota. My own res, where I come from, Blackfoot. Now, like I say, when councilmen, I have 6 now, that there was 15, now there's 6. They all said, when you combined the humans together to communicate with the Satangas, the hips, the vertebrae, or don't be surprised if they share their dough with you, the meat, because they don't all take it for one. They split it amongst their clans. But you were chosen to pick this and to move it to somewhere else. And I bet you, and I know they did, they took it.
They did take it, and that's when we came back and we found the peanut butter in the tree. The spine has been gone, and it was gone, and they're not going to give it
Appreciation,
back. They're not.
saying
They're not.
thank you.
Yeah, they're not going to give it back to me. So
No.
I've come to that realization. Ernie, how do you feel about the spine in the tree? I know we've touched on it a little bit, but you and I haven't been able to catch up a lot either. We always miss each other. That's the funny part. How do you feel about the spine in the tree and what we're discussing right now?
I agree totally with Elder Medicine Bear Claw here. It's absolute. You'll find if people are, some languages are fairly easy to learn. In some languages, one word can mean many things, and
Yes.
that's in a learning. In English, there's one word, and it's all done with emotion, and then it's why it's taken out of context. A lot of things are taken out of context. As far as that structure goes, it's what I've talked to with Wojo and you a couple of times. I've been accused of being a gatekeeper. I'm a gatekeeper for a reason. Okay, it is the only people that are going to know is the people who seek the truth. I've seen many of these glyphs. I've seen many of these same glyphs in many states, and these people in these other states don't even know each other. So that's how I know that the ones that are on the ground, they mean one thing, and it's the same structure when it's leaning up against a tree. And she's spot on, absolutely spot on right there. Just to share with some of the people here that will understand this, that I don't talk about, is one of the things that everybody's always asked me is in the final part of my encounter, is he held his hand out to me about 2 feet from me and made me look down and tapped his palm. And he wanted me to look at his palm. And I got the distinct impression, and I had somebody tell me he wanted to know if I had a mark of the covenant. And maybe you will understand those things on me. Thank you. I don't talk about them. I don't talk about how I know, because it's really deep for me. For me to come out and tell people 40 years ago, yeah, I would have been locked up for sure. I had nobody to speak to, just slam the door shut, leave them there, and we'll never hear from the guy again. But here I am, those glyphs, and they would appear to be, for the untrained person, very, very subtle. Very subtle, a lot of them are. They want to see what they can teach you, if you're that interested in it. And like I told Wojo many times, like that triangle, look at it like you're sitting there with maybe your sister or your brother, and you're playing tic-tac-toe in the sand. And then you scrub it out after one game. Okay, you learned your lesson on that tic-tac-toe, and now let's play another game. But you were still using the tic-tac-toe and the circle and the X in there. Don't introduce things into there. Use what they give you to use. If somebody gives me a word in their language, I'm going to try to use that word in my conversation so that I can remember that word. I'm not going to try to introduce another word that I think is a word in their language. Okay, and that's what we're up against here. It's ironic, that one of the things that sticks in my mind was the why me. And I was blessed to sit down with Chief Ernest, and for about an hour, and him and I spoke in private. And in the end, he pretty much told me, based on what I told him, there's certain things that I don't speak about. He said, you walked into a world. You're the man that walked into worlds that morning. And that's why it did what it did with me. It couldn't believe I was standing there. It didn't know how I got there. It didn't know how I got through there. Its hunting party. But those things are so subtle. And you have, Elder Medicine Bear Claw, you have such a vast knowledge of this. And I understand that it's if I were to come out and tell everything all at once, welcome all at once to people, it would be too bizarre for them to handle, because we look at this community and how fractured it is, and somebody wants to go down the Enoch trail, or they want to go down this trail over here. You all have a piece of, like the blind men in the elephant poem, the 6 men. They all had a piece of the elephant, but they didn't know what the elephant looked like until they got together. Okay, in something like this, they do indeed. They do indeed. Are there bad ones? There's bad ones in our with us. There's bad ones with them for whatever reason it may be. Okay, but when they're seeing that you're trying to make contact, when your teacher sees that you're trying to learn something, they give you more. Okay, because what they really want to give you is the final thought. The other word I don't like to hear is when people say there are no experts. Excuse me, your mom was an expert. Your father was an expert at one time until you grew up and somebody else became an expert. You know, if I want to learn more about Navajo, this man right here, Don, he's my expert. And I want to learn a language or something. That's where I'm going to. People in this community, they freely shout these words out that only have one meaning to them. They don't see, because of a bias, the other part of that meaning. You know, they're afraid because it's so, people are so into the money portion of it that they're afraid that somebody's going to take away their thunder on them.
Oh yeah.
You only have a little bit of thunder. You know, hold on to that thunder. Okay.
Yep.
And you'll be able to do that if you try to be, let's use the word modest there or whatever. Try to learn. If you want to solve this puzzle, if you consider it a puzzle, then this is the only way to do this. You know, is communication, because without communication, we would not be here today. We would not know any of this. And it's essential. You know, there's more to this story for people to understand. You know, that if you want to go down that biblical path, then you go down there and you believe in your revelations or your prophecies or whatever it may be. You know, a flat tire is a flat tire. The end is going to be the end. And what will you do in the end? You know, if I said to everybody listening that you are in a war against good and evil, you can't fight that with a stone or a club. You fight that on a spiritual realm. And again, I firmly believe that they have that part of our DNA that was taken from us, scientifically taken from us, that they still maintain that. And they are one with the earth. They are the spirit of the woods. What else can they do? We can look at it and we can marvel at they took a tree and jammed it into the ground. But that's all we're going to see. You know, we have to seek those answers, and hopefully you come across somebody who is willing to tell you if they see that your spirit is good. And that's something that we talked about from the get-go when I first met Wojo and Richie. Is I wanted to know their spirit. I wanted to know why, because it will never ever progress. It will never ever progress beyond what it is unless you are trustworthy,
Right.
and you are truthful. You know, people could say, well, I'm trustworthy. You might meet somebody at work, a new guy at work or a new woman at work, and they go, well, I'm trustworthy. I'm truthful. That's your opinion. You know, with them, it's you show me that you are, you know, and when you show me you are, then we could talk a little bit more, because let's face it, most people, even people who have seen them, okay, they will tell you, some of them will tell you, well, if one jumped out on the trail that I was walking on, I would turn and run. Well, why? I don't, that's something that I don't understand, you know, is why would you do that? If one of them, truthfully, if one of them came out on my trail, again, I would definitely try to communicate with them. That particular day, I've even said it before in podcasts, is I was all intent on following them. I wanted to know where they were going. And unfortunately, I you know, it got the better of me. My spidey senses started tingling when one of them signaled to the other one to flank right, and he was going to flank left. Because I didn't know. I had no idea about these because it was so well hidden from my family, from me. You know, and here I am today, and still hoping. I don't hope that it's me that this happens to, but I hope that people catch on a real spiritual level, is that where I believe they are. That's where it hit me. That's where I was that morning.
Yeah,
So,
I will say
thank you.
that before I let the others speak, and I'll speak for, you know, I'm sure Richie will agree. is that in time, the big thing that we've learned is thinking outside that box, which was important to us, where we realized we were becoming more spiritually. We were like really understanding and reading in the box of what we're dealing with. And the gifting chair is the start of the temple of Mother Earth right there, and that's where things have really taken off.
But
And also too that Richie responded quick. Hey, we need to get this chair out of here because we do care about them. We don't want to give up their location. We don't want to give up their home.
yeah, but for me, if I can interject, and thank you for that, but for me, it was like I was excited because they wanted to stay. So if they saw this intrusion coming upon their area, they thought of us, bro. They thought of us.
Yep.
And it wasn't just that we think of them. It was the part where they thought of us to say, hey, don't go anywhere. Meet us over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Mountain Bucks actually asked a question. He says, how do we know this incident is associated with Bigfoot? What makes you think that? And all of this has to do with context and the whole story, brother. You know, you got to go back and watch the whole story. You got to watch what Wojo just said. The research has evolved into this spiritual connection. It's not just about looking for prints and hair stuck in a tree and listening to a Ohio howl. That is not what it is anymore. That's not where we're at no more. All the things that I couldn't even believe, never mind just having them in my backyard, that was unbelievable. That took years to sink in. Now I'm on a level where I've watched other people go to where I sat back and was like, really? Really? You know? And now I'm there and I'm connected. And that's the difference, man. And that's the difference, bro. And I think it's context and reading the history of our search. Thank you, Elder. Thank you, Sparky, by the way, too, for the donation.
Yes.
I want to jump to Sam real quick because she's been really quiet back there. All I hear is that I hear pleather flapping in the wind. And
Oh,
hey, when you were on the live with us and you
yeah.
watched that moment happen, unfold with the spine in the tree
Mhm.
and the structure, what was going through your head?
Well, I thought it was like odd, but I was like, wow, that's never. I mean, that's big. That was huge. That was a huge one. Well, we've had a lot of huge moments, but that was a big one.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was something that it was a message that they were giving you. I didn't think immediately, oh, that hunter, or like it was the way it was put, and then the structure, and then how you guys walked us through and showed it. Like it's a direct, it was a message. Oh, hey, John. It was a message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt the same way. It was just and again, I think it, in fairness to Mountain Bucks, that he's kind of newer, and he hasn't
Oh yeah,
watched
yeah.
the whole journey. And when you sit here and walk through this whole journey, it's absolutely mind blowing. To where the level it's gotten to. And I'm going to show some pictures shortly about the different ways that, Wojo has come up with to communicate with that.
Oh, I must have froze.
Yep, it did.
There it is.
So we'll go through all the different pics. I can see it when it happens here. I don't know. It restreams amazing. I just love it. You see that face? It was my I love it face.
I do have one quick follow up, but I'll wait until everybody.
Yeah, good. Wait till like Thursday. That'd be great. Give me a call then. Thanks. Dawn, if you could touch on, the spine in the tree and maybe perhaps the rectangle. I don't know. Do you know anything about the rectangle? Yeah. I'm like blown away here.
Yeah. The which one would you like to know first?
Dude, I get so excited. I want everything now. You know what I mean? So whatever you choose, brother.
All right. So there's two things that leave things in the trees like that. First off is not Bigfoot. It's the mountain lion. They leave their things up there, but they will go further than that. But like that height looks like it was over 6 feet, maybe under like at least 6 feet.
Yeah, it was around 6. Yep, and we don't have mountain lions.
So
rule
and that, And that's a message. That is a message. That is a warning message that this spine is going to be yours if you keep coming closer to me.
Woo.
Because what you should have done is from that spine, look for more signs, go in a spiral. Because where that spine is, there's a kill pile not far from there, at least 60 yards to 80 yards. In between there, you'll find a pile of deer, horse, cattle, you name it, whatever they can find. You'll find bodies on top of each other. And when you go through the bones, you'll find no teeth marks. You'll find no butcher marks. Because everything's ripped out from socket to socket. But before you find that, I'll backtrack a little. Before you find that kill pile, you'll usually find two femur bones side by side. It points to the direction to their kill pile, and you go up and over behind the trees, over the hill. You go find it. You'll find the whole piles right there. So that's the. If you guys want to went back the second day, you guys would have probably seen one, and the third day, especially at night. And the from the triangle and the structures that you showed, that's a sign that they passed on maybe a week ago or a month ago. Those are building materials because I sent Wojo a picture of a nest intact because they can make beautiful nests. They weave them together. They have nice. They have like we do. They
Goodness.
weave them together from branch to branch, all the way around like a big basket of a nest. They make their own nest for their baby, and then they make one for the parents. The parents makes a big one where you can fit a horse and you standing diagonally. It looks like a diamond. And then when they're done, they take apart everything and they just leave the frames. So they just leave that and they leave some of the building material on the ground. And when you want to find them, a lot of these research, I learned a lot over the past decade. I was an underground researcher on the reservation. I worked with William Jevening, and there's they leave a lot of evidence. They want you to find them, but you have enough balls to see them. That's another thing. So if you would have look around, look for a pine tree that's at least 6 to 8 feet tall. In between there, a fresh pine tree, you'll see it snap at the tip, and that direction is telling you where they're going next. So that's what they're doing, and that's from the pictures, and because years of researching, years of seeing things myself, years of countless witness testimonials, and even being out and about at night. So being there myself, and from what we can, what I can share with you guys, because it's for everyone, it's for your information. Most importantly, it's for my kids and your kids, because when we die, which is going to be very soon, we go back into the dirt, we go back into the earth. Right now, we are all surface people, and the Sasquatch, Yeito. So they they have three names. We have three names for them. As so Yeito is the big giant, and the other one is the hairy holy man, and the other one is the hairy man. So we have three names for them because the hairy holy man, he can help us out when we're sick. He takes
Yeah.
us and he brings us back a few days later. Well, he takes the other kid. He helped us out during the genocide when the Navajo scalp was worth $9, and the Navajo women and children were the highest paid slaves that were sold and shipped off out of Mexico City. So at one point, the whole world wanted to get rid of us, but Yeito, the hairy holy man, they protected us. They gave us medicine. They chased off the cavalry. They chased off the enemy scouts. Us from Utah, we had to hide. We had to rely on our witchcraft, black magic, skinwalker ability to hide at night. And that's how we got away. So I made a podcast to help, you know, tell everyone the stories, because we once were hunted down and now we're here. And, you know, he's always been around us since time immemorial. So his he goes back to, it goes a long time ago. So once upon a time there was a few humans in this world, Europe, Africa, Asia, America. There was a few people because these Sasquatches were eating us at one point in time. There's many different variations of Sasquatches. In our language, we say there's different kinds of looking Bigfoot. Different ones, they're all not the same looking because some look like us because they kidnapped women and they had babies from them. So they mixed. And some have more canine looking ones. So years of doing research, I came across a government worker. He's a good friend of mine. He said that the government can confirm there's 23 different types of Sasquatches, and that really backs us up our oral traditional stories. And they almost ate us all one time when they were coming by a Navajo lady. She had two babies, and these guys can smell whenever a lady gave birth. So this thing was coming around, trying to look around and say, "Hey, I know you had a baby," because these guys can speak our language. They can speak Navajo. When they speak, it sounds like an old man, like a raspy voice. And that's if they want to chat with you. They can speak our language. They can speak Apache. Um, and so, they would come by saying, "Where's the baby? We smell it." So she hid them. And as the boys got older, she told them that your father is the creator, like our version of the virgin birth. So the creator, his name is Jonah A. So he's the ultimate creator, the architect of this whole universe. He sang this universe into existence. He created us and Sasquatch side by side as brothers. But over time, the Sasquatch started eating us. They were more faster, more superior. They're the apex predator of this world. So the two boys got older and they started looking for their father. And they actually they made contact with the father. He was in the sun, on the sun, and he asked them, "You guys are really my boys. What do you want here?" And as he asked them their question, the boys were looking at each other, and the creator was looking into their minds. And he's seeing through what's going on, that the whole world is in turmoil. The world is in chaos. Humanity is almost eaten off the planet. So, as much as he didn't want to, he noticed one of the boys, the monster slayer is his name. The other is born for water. So he seen Monster Slayer's eyes, and he looked over his doorway, and over his doorway there was a bow, and there's two lightnings like this. There's a bow. So he said, "Oh, you want that, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, we want that. We need it. We need to save humanity." So he granted him that weapon. He's like, "I know taking life isn't right. I want all life to live, but what's going on is imbalance. Because us Dene, us Navajo, we strive for balance. Balance in the home, balance at work, balance when you're out and about. You always need to have balance. So, we really want balance so much that we had 12 chiefs, 6 war chiefs, and 6 peace chiefs. So, that's how balanced we always want it to be. So the twins went back home to Earth. They came back down by the holy people. And the holy people are the star people, what some indigenous cultures say, star people. The ETs, the ones that fly on the disc shapes. So they came back down with them. And when they came back down, they started going on the offensive. They started going all around the world, shooting these different types of Sasquatches and hunting them down in the forests, into the woods, and different parts of the world. And they almost wiped them all out. They chased them all down into the Grand Canyon. There's a deep, deep hollow earth to enter this tunnel in the Grand Canyon. So they chased them all the way down there where no light was penetrating that area so far deep into the earth. And they seen all different monsters there. They're all begging for their life. They say, "Don't kill us, don't kill us." They made a deal there. They said that if we let you live, you do not eat humanity anymore. No more. Because if you do, we're gonna kill you permanently. There's gonna be no more Sasquatches here, no more monsters. So they did, and over time passed. Like they say, darkness crept into the forest, and we made a deal with them that the night is your domain. As soon as the sun comes up, it's our time to shine. We are the children of the day. You are the children of the night. So we respect everything you do at night. We'll stay out of your hair. We stay out of my hair. If we're fishing, we see you, we'll give you fish. In our time of need, you give us medicine when we need it. You teach us where to find the medicine because whatever you would look for Sasquatch, look for herbal medicines that's growing around there. But go with people. Never go alone. If you are going alone, whoever's listening out there, if you hear anything to your left and right, there's always 2 or 3 more Sasquatches. Start talking to yourself out loud because these guys love blood. They love blood. They'll hold you by your ankles and puncture you right here where your artery is and drain you out. There will be no drop of you left. That's if they want your blood. And if they can turn you over and take your intestines out, that's all they want. So they have different types of behaviors, from all over the place. Our encounters is a lot different from everyone else's. I understand that. And, so we made that deal with them. And throughout growing up, they always told us, stay inside. Don't go out at night. Don't whistle at night. Don't be chopping wood at night. Don't be making knocking noise at night. Why? Why? The children of the night are out there. You don't do this. I'm like, oh my gosh. My people are so superstitious. So um uh um I'll start off with my encounter. I was gonna go off in these family Sasquatch stories in the 90s, but I don't want to scare everyone. But I'll scare you guys with my first time seeing Yaito, this team Tsukugi, the hairy holy man, the hairy man. So well actually let me finish off. Oh, you're welcome. So Sasquatch's role within our tribe is very deep. That's the earlier version, and over time he became the holy man because he helped. I'll tell you why not whistling. So he helped us out with medicine. His purpose was to help us out the land, and manage the wildlife and to become caretakers of the land. So he taught us everything, and he became our guardian. When we need help, he's always going to be there to help us out. And if you ever look up Navajo Yei Biche, so Yei Biche is like a sacred ceremony that only goes on in the wintertime. Right now it's winter. So there's 12 dancers, 13 dancers actually. So the first one is the creator, and then the 12 behind him are his helpers, the holy people. The 13th one represents us humanity. We're the clown. We try to follow the creator and the holy people when they're in their walk, but we're a clown. We're the water sprinkler, and we wander off on our path and we start joking with somebody. We start picking on somebody. Oh yeah, I gotta dance. I gotta follow along. Okay, all right. I gotta be holy. I'm a human, but I gotta be not human, right? So that's what everyone's trying to strive for. And Sasquatch is the 14th dancer. So wintertime he comes and helps us out. So a lot of us we paint our body white, to match the white Sasquatch, the old one, because they live. I think my buddy Tom said 300 years. That's when they get white. There are various colors. There's buckskin, there's red, there's black, but they all get old and they all get white. And so we would go to him. He would help us out during our time of needs. So like during the genocide, family had to leave a lot of kids in this Hogan. They were they had to go hide for 9 years. So they went hide and go seek. And these kids they couldn't do things for themselves. So after the fire went out, they were about to starve and they seen Sasquatch come in. 2 of them. They came in, they built fire for them, they brought berries, they brought food, and they brought water for them. And they were making food for these kids. They took care of these kids for 9 years until 1868, the treaty was signed. and those kids' parents came back and they seen fire coming from the hug on. They're like, "What? This is crazy. This can't be." They made it into the hug on. They're like, "How are you guys still alive?" They seen the kids got older. They got taller. They seen the fire going. They seen soup being cooked over the fire on the fireplace. They seen water, and they had blankets. And all those kids are like, "We're okay. We've been fine this whole time." Whenever the enemy scouts were coming close, we hear Sasquatch screaming and chasing them off. And the cavalry is coming closer. We hear the horses coming, and Sasquatch comes and chases them all off. So the whole time he took care of those children. So he plays. I have stories like this from different parts of the reservation. Him having our back in times that we need. So he's very very my favorite topic of research because no one can put a thumb on him. But all I know is that I would not trust him with my son, my kids. But so they're called the Children of the Night as well. And one year, I won't tell you my mother's story because it goes back, but I'll tell you my story. So I was 18 years old, and I had some family. There's 7 of us total. We went on a hiking trip in where I'm from, the little community, and we had to go behind this hill. And behind that hill, there's always stories of a woman screaming back there, screaming bloody murder. And everyone hears it and everyone runs from behind the hill. They go back to the street lights. So we left at 12 o'clock at night, and within 30 minutes of our hike, we're all talking, joking. We only had one flashlight. There was no stars, no moon out. And we heard a sound like a lady screaming, like a woman, like a drunk woman that was about to die. Like a weird scream, like a howl. Like, what in the world? My uncle shined his light over there. There's some heels. I thought that this thing, what I was seeing, it was a pair of glowing eyes that was reflected from the flashlight. My uncle had bright flashlight, and it's 2 pairs of eyes looking at us, and it was walking, stopping, looking at us, and screaming. Walks this way, stops, looks at us, screams. It was walking back and forth. It was screaming. If you ever heard the Sierra Sounds by Tom Moorhead, that whole thing right there, what he captured is what I heard and felt. I felt it. My chest was, and my eardrums was vibrating. And when I was swallowing my saliva, like, oh snap, I can feel it dancing all the way down, and my stomach was, and the ground was like vibrating because the screaming was so loud. I turned to my family because about 2 of them were raised off the reservation and they had access to internet. I didn't even have a cell phone at the time. I didn't have access to YouTube, so I had no idea. Sasquatch was not on my mind. And I was looking at them, so what the heck is that? You guys know? Everyone was just quiet. Everyone's eyes is huge, and their mouth was dropped. They weren't even paying attention to me. I was like, all right, okay, I'll go ask what it is. Okay, let's go, guys. No one followed me. I just kept going. This thing was screaming and howling, and I was cutting distance within yards. And when I got to 15 yards from this thing, those eyes that I thought were from behind the heel was actually from behind this heel right by me. And this thing had his shoulders was 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. It had no neck. It just had a dome, conical head. And those eyes as big as my fist right here. With the eyes was huge, dude. Oh my gosh, huge eyes. And it lifted up his arm like this. Then he started going like this, and he went, and I stopped. I stopped going forward, and I was looking at this huge thing with red hair. It had red hair. And after it was screaming, giving its vocals to me, it started taking a step backwards into where it stopped behind the hill, to where it's only his eyes can see. Huge eyes.
Yep.
and then it went behind the hill, and like about a few seconds, I turned around and I walked back to the light. And the whole time I walked 100 yards. I walked 100 yards away from my family to Sasquatch. I didn't even know it's. I thought it was a skinwalker. I was saying
Whoa.
I'm gonna go and knock up this witchcraft person beside the head. I'm gonna knock out this old lady or old man that's doing witchcraft because in order to get that magic, we have to do sacrifice. So that's what I thought it was, but it was not. And when I got back to my family, I told them I told them that it was a bobcat. I lied to them. I said, let's keep going. So we kept going into the creek, going away from the community. We're into this creek and these rocks and pebbles, these dirt were falling down from side to side. We were being stalked. We were
Mm.
being stalked. And I got to when we got to the dirt road, I think everyone really relaxed. But during that eye contact, everything woke an ancient memory of us and them with torches and spears. This guy, like, I don't know if it was the ancient memory of the ancestors inside, because I seen things with that contact, like it went back that far. All the time I was thinking about it, and when we got back to the dirt road that gets us back to the community, the smallest and the youngest member of the family, he got ahead of us like about 50 yards or so. He went around the bend, the corner. There's this big old hill. I seen him turn the corner, and I looked down to the ground. There's only one flashlight we had to look at my footing, and I looked up and I see my cousin just right here. He was running towards me. His eyes was really wide open. His mouth was hanging. He
Yeah.
tackled me, and he was screaming. He was like telling me in Navajo, "That's a skinwalker. The skinwalker is gonna take me." I was like, "Tell me, what did you see?" Relax, relax, relax. What did you see? I need to know. What did you see? What did you see? Relax. He finally told me. I relaxed him down. He's like, and he turned around the corner because the community has street lights over yonder, and you can see the light haze that hits on that other side. And he said that on this dirt road, he's seen like a giant orangutan running towards him on all fours,
Mm.
and it was reaching out to get him. He said this thing had red hair. He, what I seen earlier, he seen the same exact thing that was stalking us.
Wow.
So, he almost took my mother. That's another story. And he
Right.
almost took my little sister. I think those were two different Sasquatches, because the black one almost took my sister, and the red one almost was stalking us. And, my mom seen the black one and the red one. Every one of us, we seen Sasquatch because we just live off the river, San Juan River, in the Four
Right.
Corners area.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild, bro. I want to get into more of your stories too. I think we should hook up and do a solo, and I'd love to hear some more of them. I'm sitting there like my mouth going, what the? that's no, that's scary as hell, and I don't see them. And you kind of emphasize some of that, and as far as being a little more aggressive and stuff. But I also think, and I don't know if you guys agree, I also think, just like humans, geographical matters, right? The geographics matter, right? Where you live, what you eat, how you shelter, everything to me kind of goes by what you have around you to survive off of, right? Like the nest that you were talking about. We believe that we have laurels that grow naturally in the water, and we believe they use those as a form of shelter by knocking over other trees on top of the laurel, so the laurels can't grow straight up, but they grow out and yet stay alive and continue to give them cover. And bending the bottoms of the trees, that it almost looks like you would have to boil the tree in hot water and then bend the trunk and let it grow like this. And we have pictures of huts doing that as well. And the ground kind of being pushed down from them laying on it. So I think even aggression can fall on geographics, right? If you go through history and things like that, right? I think a lot of that matters, right? And I just think maybe there's just aggressive ones like humans, just like there isn't aggressive humans. You know what I mean? There's calm, chill humans. There's calm, chill Sasquatches. You know what I mean? So I think it's a matter of who you kind of run into, right? And with a situation like that, I'd like to get more into it with you because I wonder if there's different ways of kind of, connecting and making that bond too and growing, you know what I mean, with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I think
I
that.
forgot to. Oh,
Good.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was,
Go ahead, bro.
I forgot to leave out one important thing about contact there. You reminded me. Whenever you go into the forest, or to the desert, wherever they are at, you find two huge rocks. You clack them together, pa, pa, pa,
Yeah.
3 times, 3 sets of threes. Okay, 3 sets of threes, and you wait. If there's nothing, then it's okay. But what you are doing, you're telling them that you're a friend. Don't eat me. I'm not on the menu.
Not on the menu. See, I didn't know that. That might be something that we do, right, Woj?
Yeah.
Three sets of
Our
threes.
pack of friends.
Yeah, so if I do 3, then you do 3, and then whoever does 3, right by the fire pit where the intersection is.
Yep.
I think something like that. At least say we're not on the menu. I don't think we're on the menu though.
No,
I don't think they're into us.
I find different energy in our woods because of, well, they do have high energy, but they are telling us that, we are welcomed in their home, and, we're their guests. And one last thing I was going to say from a while back is that we were on live and we saw a person, we don't know if it was a hunter or a hiker, and it was very close to the gifting chair. And all of a sudden, you hear, and then they started woo, 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 off in the distance, draw attention away from our area, which to me is behavior to protect us. That's how I felt. And I felt that we're at their sacred area, and they don't want him to know that, we're here, and they're trying to protect us also.
Y'all were getting close to the baby. That's why when they do that, you're getting close to the babyness.
Well, it's funny because we actually believe that there is a new baby, and when this particularly happened, the person kind of stopped at the bend, and we were kind of hunched down because I said, "Oh, look at somebody's walking," and he went towards what's called the folly, which is deeper into the woods. I call it the folly. Well, we named it the folly because it's down by the river, and little Chris Folly thing there, and and Mojo's right. We started hearing the dogs where there are no dogs, and we started, which we always hear, but it seemed like they were working with us to get them away from the gifting area because that's their gifting area. It's a sacred spot for them. Yes. But we felt that they were pulling him away, this complete stranger away. And I've never seen anybody that close to us out in the woods. It was pretty weird. You know what I mean? So that what Wojo's saying is that we got to witness the behavior. And even after we got out of there and went in the opposite direction, we were down there listening to all the hooting and howling and dogs and stuff like that, where there should be no hooting, howling, and dogs. and Mojo's like, dude, we're witnessing their behavior right now, trying to get him out of there or freak him out, like what they did to us, I guess, in the beginning, right? Now they're like, hey, those meatheads are here with all the food. Let's let them stay,
But it drew him away from us.
Yeah, they did originally, yeah.
Do you guys live close to the gifting area? How close do you guys live?
Yeah, I'm 5 to 7 minutes, depends on how fast I drive.
Make sure you guys don't run out of food, because once you do, they're gonna come and get you and rip you apart.
And listen, if that's the way I go, bro, I'll take it, man. There's all bad ways to go. If Bigfoot's the way I go, then fine. It's kind of like a Ferrari on the Autobahn compared to an old Ford Pinto on a back road, right? So
the whole neighborhood is going to get locked down. The men in black are going to take everyone's phones and laptops,
and it's going to be all my fault. It's going to be all my fault. And and it's funny because I actually had 2 locations, and when I originally had this all started, they came into my backyard, which is really their backyard, I guess, right? But or front yard. But yeah, so I've always had.
Though.
What's that?
I was gonna say, be careful. It's always what you can prove that can make you disappear. That's the one thing we gotta worry about other than Sasquatch.
Bro,
other than
I got 83
kids in the
kids.
forest.
I got
Men
83
in Black.
kids. I got 83 kids.
Oh, okay.
If I disappear, that's a vacation. All right, chill.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So no, let's go over some pictures. We're running out of time, but I'm going to stay a little bit longer if it's all right with you guys. The audience has had a bunch of questions. I told them to hold off because I was going to do a Q&A, but they kept asking the questions anyways, so they probably can't remember their questions anymore. D-Who wants to know something about a goddamn light. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. I think she's referring to the first pictures, which Elder Medicine Bear Claw was there with. I'll go back to that real quick. So we had this light.
Wojo some pictures. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's cool, man. No, dude, just speak freely, man. There's no sorries here. So we had this light in the woods, and we've had it over and over again. And this one, Wojo was able to zoom in on it because Sam really loves his Android, I guess. Apparently, she's a little backstabbing Android lover. Supposed to be an Apple phone.
I have an Android too.
What's that?
I have an Android too. The Samsung Android 16.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Banter?
I love Androids, Elder. They're my favorite.
Yeah, that's right.
Be nice now.
No,
be poking your toes.
No, their cameras are really nice, but other than that, it's just like a tablet compared to a computer. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Android system's toilet water.
Oh my goodness!
Right, but Sam secretly has a crush on androids. I didn't know. I thought we were you're muted, and I like that. No, keep it muted. Don't reach.
Sam, speak up.
Oh no.
What do you mean?
There you go.
Dude, I can't zoom. I'm on a computer. This is not this is not. It's not an Android. It's just a computer. So we had this light, and then Wojo started casting in on it. Is this something you guys could be familiar with? You can see a little arrow I pointed in. It wasn't a red. Don't worry, I didn't use red. Everybody, relax. We know how Ernie loves the red circles. I love you, Ernie. All right. Don't start an Android war now. Whatever, Android all the way. Stop it. You guys are. Don't even get me started. So as I zoomed in on it, I started cleaning it up and zooming in, and I kind of ended up here. And that's where I ended up. And I already shared this before, but have you guys ever seen anything like that? Can you see what I'm seeing? I don't. What do you see? You know what I mean? In that sense, you know. Speechless.
Well, who do you want to start with? How's that?
You can start with me if you want to.
Oh.
I like to talk about red circles and stuff. I'll say this, because Wojo sent me this picture too. Okay, so I treat everything. How can I say? Like pareidolia. Okay, so I gotta look at it, and I gotta get rid of it. I gotta become aware of it so I can get rid of the pareidolia. Okay, or anything else. What I'm looking at there right there, and if this is somebody's first time looking at this, don't look at the light. Don't look at the light going out to the left or to the right. Look just below the light. Tell me if you see a jaw. Tell me if you see teeth. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have even said that. Maybe you should have just taken a look at it yourself. I won't even explain the rest of it to you. But yeah, and I have seen something similar to this. Up in Ohio, but it was minus the light. Knowing you guys and knowing the context that this was taken in, there was no reflection that was happening right here.
No.
And that's what we get at is they can obviously do something that we can't do. But the thing that really captures me on this right here, either that's a really ugly one, or it's mad. Or it's not one of them. It's actually something else. Because that right there, that's not pleasant looking to me. I don't know how do you feel there, Elder Medicine Bear Claw? I mean, are you looking at what I'm looking at right there? I mean, that's a little concerning to me with the showing the teeth like that and the lips, the upper lip kind of pursed like it is. I mean, am I seeing more hair on the forehead and the different shape of the head? Or
here you see.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
eyes are
Yeah.
right over here.
Correct.
And you
Yeah.
see them now with the big fang come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yes, I believe I did say this is a creature that Mother Earth has. Many people were going to look at the light, and I'm sure they're saying, "What is that? Is it a tree with your flashlight?" Or, no, actually, it is a satanga. They have come out with when you putting a flashlight out to them, you're going to get a lot of their energy if you're that close up. Many, I'm going to say, many other tribes have different opinions.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. This is what I see, and I totally
Yeah.
do. It's what I see, and I'm proud. I am very proud how much they've come.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The
It was.
energy that I pick up is not very aggressive. He's
Okay.
just stating a face.
Right.
I said, Ernie, that maybe because I was taking a picture, and maybe like deep down inside me, I said cheese, and that's the way they smile. You ever thought of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you like cheese.
No. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm pretty sure you did say cheese. Second of all, just so everybody knows, there's a video of this moving around and going like this and stuff, and this is just happens to be a zoomed in shot. So there was no lights casted on them in a sense. That's his light. That's the light that was coming from that we were recording. And then the amazing Android phone,
Yeah.
Android phone broke through it all that the Apple could not. Okay. And got actual features on it. The only thing is he had to upload it to an Apple in order to save it. So so when he zoomed in though, he had the features in there. And when I started cleaning it up, I was here by myself and I'm going, oh my God. And then I would enlarge it and then clean it up, enlarge it and then clean it up, screenshot. And I got in closer like this and I went, oh my God, what am I looking at? Like
Yeah. Right.
kind of where Ernie's at, right? So I think the aggression that you're seeing here is from a watcher. And I think the job of a watcher, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is to kind of obviously watch, but there's a form of protection there with what's behind them or to communicate, with they always watch us when we're leaving. Let's put it that way. So if we stay long, then across the field, I believe it's Mama, she starts getting the domestic dogs where the neighbors live. You can hear her go, and then the dogs get going, rah, 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 and that kind of get our attention to get out of there. We've actually been trained at this point. And when we don't move, my point is, when we don't move, I think when we zoomed in on him, he kind of showed, a little bit of aggression. If I wanted to be aggressive, it could have just reached out and snatched us, kind of like what Dawn was saying. And he didn't. It was kind of like more like move along. And let me reiterate one more thing. When we're standing there 70, 80 feet from them, we can hear the movement. There's two forms of evidence here. There's the light and now there's three because we got a picture, but there's the light that's moving, and you can hear the little slow, subtle kind of breaks and scuffling of the leaves back and forth. And you can hear me and Wojo on the lives going, oh, he's moving. Shh, he's moving. And then we can hear him move. So I don't think this particular watcher was too thrilled with us hanging around because that's their job kind of to make sure we leave, and we're not leaving. So that's my feeling on it. That's the vibe I got. At no time did I feel threatened. Only the time that Wojo tricked me and made me stay up by a glyph and I got something thrown at me from 10 feet away. And he never took the damn picture that I needed because we were trying to debunk something. But, why debunk things, jerk? So that's definitely something in the picture. That's what we know, right? And Elder Medicine Bear Claws feels that's the Satunga. And I'm just looking at it going, what the I'm at the what the F stage still. How's that? Is that fair?
Well, you're still learning.
Correct. Oh yeah. And fast. It's fast that we're learning. I mean, we're out there a lot. I guess you learn faster the more you put into it. And the Christmas lights from the past. Yes. Oh yeah. We have all kinds of different lights in the woods that have been amazing. So have issues with connection when they are out doing lives. No, that's nothing to do with the Apple. That's to do with YouTube, I bet, and the Satunga. And I guarantee an Android wouldn't be able to hold on as long because it don't have any memory. So be quiet unless you buy some.
No.
Oh, sorry. Spocky's starting fights. So if you don't know, this is the gifting chair here. That's a picture of what we believe. Well, don't believe that's a print actually, because the peat moss this is down like 2 inches into the peat moss. When we stand there, we go like 3 centimeters, and then it fluffs back up like a sponge. So whatever got all the way down to the dirt was pretty damn heavy, and I bet you that was somebody inspecting it to make sure it was safe for the others. Oh, so the thing on the left, don't tell Spocky this, but that's the thing that was near the glyph when I hit it with a light, and then something got thrown at me on the live, and I kind of scurried away. I believe the light's energy. Yeah, I don't know. I think Elder was saying that it was a form of their energy, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I would agree with that. Oh, and here's the light up close. And there he is a little bit from the distance. You can see him a little bit better that way, right? Pretty
How
wild.
far away was that? Richie, how far away was that?
Whoa, Joe, what would you say? 70 feet?
60, 70 feet, but
I can't hear you. Hang on a minute. I think there's background interference. I had to mute. Elder, I'm sorry, I had to mute you. I think the AC is running behind you. No? Well, you got some crazy energy over there, young lady. Now, Wojo, go ahead. Now I can hear him. Watch. Wait, hang on. I got you muted. I'll unmute you in a second. Go ahead. What, Woj?
Yeah, I would say approximately about 60 yards, excuse me.
60 yards. You think it's yards?
60 yards.
Well, that's big difference. That's 3/4 of a football field almost.
Yeah, that's pretty far for a cell phone. But you said you had to download it off an Android into an Apple. Seriously?
No. He just sends me this stuff.
Sorry.
Well, let me ask Elder. Let me ask Elder a question here. Do you think that that's something that they're doing it didn't like the camera, that is trying to wash that camera out?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, wait. Say that again.
Let me explain that to you, okay? Because ironically, everybody's so acclimated to their cell phones nowadays. They don't realize that when cell phones first came out, there was no cameras on them. For all those out there who wonder why I didn't take a picture, I didn't have a cell phone on me, and if I did, it probably would not have had a camera on it. The reason being they didn't have cameras on them because all that information had to be put into the system. Okay, anybody that knows computers understands that. It couldn't tell the difference between a green apple and a red apple. Nowadays, it can not only tell you that, but it can tell you what kind of apple it is. Taking that into consideration, you have to understand bits and bytes. Bits and bytes are pieces of information that are out there, FM, the old term, effing magic. Okay,
Right.
it's literally taking something that is out there that's given information and taking it and putting it into something that you can see. That is, it doesn't take a picture. Okay, that's not a film. It's taking pieces of information that's out there. Somehow they can manipulate that, because in order to take a picture of one, it would pretty much have to be somewhat in the system somehow, whether it's a likeness of one or whatever. But I get the funny feeling that, because cameras wash out every time somebody tries to take a picture and this and that, they're blurry, aka the red circle problem.
Right.
Okay, that right there, I don't think it's a mood thing, because I have taken one report on by somebody that actually claims they witnessed by shining a light on them from close up, another set of eyelids for the different glow, and I think it's an emotional thing that happens there. But this right here, I get the distinct impression that it's washing the camera out, washing the picture, trying to wash the picture out. It does not want to be photographed. And that's probably why its
Interesting.
mouth is like it is. Like it's not mad at you guys.
No, we
You know, it's
apologized anyways.
yeah. There
This
you
is,
go.
I always say when any of the I say my children because I'm teaching and I don't teach all at once. You have to
Yeah.
go in sections. Even if it takes 6 months to a year, I'm teaching you what. And this is how I was taught, but more and more. Now, when you feel the energy, wait, let me back up. Before you're coming to the woods or the forest, they already know you're coming because you have already gave them your scent. So they know. As it is, Richie, you have a client, the female that comes there and then comes back. Now, many tribes say, well, if you have such a interaction and they trust and believe in you, you're going to hear and feel a lot of high energy all the time. Now, my clan, I have 4 clans, and yes, I'm marked. They come here. My husband gets scared, and he's chow chow in Mexican, and he says, it smells. And we have a dairy right here, and we have a cornfield. They hide in the cornfield unless I open the shed for them to come in. But many people's gotten pictures of them. When I'm outside, you can see them. I always say, ask. If I forgive me if I'm filming, but I'm doing this as an investigation. Ask permission. It's always important. And before you enter, you say a prayer, put down tobacco. I tell everyone I teach, I always send out a smudge kit. And when you're done, you smudge and you say you cannot attach to me or to my equipment, or you cannot follow me, because it's not just them that are there are also others.
Yes, there is. That's a fact.
You do not want the others, which we elders tell our relatives and children not to say the word unless you have been blessed by at least 10 or 12 elders for you to say that word. And this is why I say the it.
Right.
Because I don't want them coming into, the camera is a portal.
Oh, man.
The TV is a portal. But believe me, as much as I do the prayer and smudge, and then I have to say my names for you guys because I want to make sure you're protected. Many people don't understand that they can attach to you, or they can follow you home. They want to see, oh, how are you living? You want to know what I'm doing here on Mother Earth, who I protect.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. It's how you look at it and how they come.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that night too, we were very apologetic, I thought. You know what I mean? Like because we realized we might have like overstepped, even for us, as respectful as we always are. That might be why you're seeing the response you're seeing. They kind of knew that and they knew we felt that, but we were caught in the moment. Like, sometimes stupid humans get caught in, and we were just like, what are we looking at? You know what I mean? Like, we weren't sure if it was one of them or not, because we don't have that full knowledge, and
I remember being there at the time.
yes. And Sam was there. Sam, you remember being there. Yeah, you got to hit your button again. Oh my God.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, right?
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
it was intense.
now on your side of the camera, and both of you were there, but on your side of the camera, can you? I don't know if you see what we're seeing in a sense. Like, we're seeing two different things. We're seeing the camera and we're seeing what's in front of us, and we're watching extra motion. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And we can hear things too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Rich, are you referring to my phone when I had it on video?
Hang on, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Where is that? Okay. All right, relax. Relax, crypto Cajun. Everybody breathe. It's just a phone. Um, sorry. So, yeah, so what was that, Wojo? Something about your phone?
Well, I mean, like on our investigation last night,
Mhm.
that we saw two different, like, we were looking at what we're seeing here,
Yeah.
and it split off, like something else. Like, remember, like what was that just kind of went up in the air?
That was different investigation. That was last night you're talking about.
That's what I just said last night.
Yeah, yeah, I can't. You muffled a little bit. Um, I
I heard him.
yeah, I don't know. Something swooped by, and we had elder in a tree. Remember?
Yes, thank you. Where I got the grunt.
Yeah, the grunt. The grunt was crazy.
Because we were like, and then it went square, and then all of a sudden there was like, it just like another orb came from nowhere. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah, that was different. Yeah, because elder was up over here. The Satanya was here, and then that yellowish gold piece just came swooping like that, right? Right. And then I thought it came back again. I thought it went opposite too. I thought it came back twice. Listen, I don't know. You know, there's many things out in these woods, right? I know we're dealing with Sasquatch for the
It
most
all
part.
can't be Bigfoot. It all can't be Bigfoot. Fellas.
Correct. Correct. Don.
I'll wait my turn.
No. You can always jump in anytime.
Don't be bashful, young one.
Yeah. Put on some music. Put on some music and dance,
Yeah.
brother. Let it go. You know what I mean?
As far as what we know in my investigations and being out there myself a lot, those are not Sasquatch. Sasquatch is a different being. He's his own being. He does not need to become a ball of light because there's other elementals that travel just like that right there. They're called orbs, and they will chase you and they will knock you out. And you will wake up hours later. Sometimes we'll see three of them in a canyon. One would be that color, another would be blue, another would be green, and then some of them would be red. There'd be all of them would be chasing each other. And if you make a noise, you step on a twig, they'll come right at you and hit your temple. You'll be
Jeez,
out.
dude.
In Navajo, we call them alele. So
Alele.
translation, that means mystical, magical beings, elemental. That is not Sasquatch because I was chased by one of those before, and it was not Sasquatch. I was chased by Sasquatch before, tracked by him, followed by him. So I know how he feels when the ground shakes when he runs. He'll put distance between you. People think that he teleports, but he doesn't. He jumps 36 feet away, one stride. He jumps. He can jump over many trees. He jumps tree to trees. That's why you can't find his tracks. So, there's many things out there in the forest. Not everything is Bigfoot. Bigfoot is his own creature, his own thing. He leaves behind turd. He urinates. He leaves behind his hair. So if you ever find his poop, you can break it open. You'll find pine cones. You'll find pine pinion and pine seeds, pine nuts, pinion nuts in there, and rabbit and deer fur and a whole bunch of other things. They're species of whatever's available. You know what I mean? Kind of like the vulture. The vulture won't eat a living thing that's alive. The vulture will wait till it's dead. Like very respectful. They're just like that. Or they'll see you walking on the road and they'll drag you down into the creek. No one has ever seen them hop into a portal. We see portals. I've seen portals. And when you see a light like that, you stop, you wait, you keep taking pictures because when the light is like that, it'll start getting bigger, it'll turn green. And then in a blink of an eye, you'll see a goblin standing to the left and to the right. They're coming to take you. So they're taking you into the portal. So that could be a portal opening if it's stational, but if it's floating around, that's the alele, and that's what my email is, alele naalka. So translation, that means mystical investigators, and my job is to help sort out all of these things and not lean on our own knowledge, not lean on our own understandings. Do not ever do that because you're gonna miss something. You're gonna miss the smallest little deal, and you always gotta think like a child. Just like the Lord says, the kingdom of heaven belongs to the children. And we always have to be innocent, in our intent if we're going after him. Because if we have evil, if we have anything going on in us, they'll see it and they'll take us out of this world. The Hopi tribe called them Masawu. Masawu means the giver of life, the taker, the giver of death. He's coming to give you death. And when he's coming, he's screaming with his red glowing eyes. If you ever look up the Masawu, the Hopi, they have a little wooden doll that they carved the Sasquatch, and he has red eyes and sharp teeth. He's coming to you at night to take you out of this world to the underworld. So, different cultures, different observations, but each of them are very, very valuable. And I think that we should all give every culture, every tribe a chance to speak and teach everyone. That's part of the reason why I made the podcast and we got adopted on the United Public Radio Network, is to help everyone learn and not be so much afraid, but also have replaced the fear with respect and boundary, and keep everything wild as it is. Don't go and take out this woods and build apartments there. No, no, you leave that there for them, the children of the night. We made a deal with them a long time ago before any of y'all got here, you know. So, it goes respect beyond anything, because they can take us away if they choose to. They are the apex predator. But also, they have more respect than any one of us.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
You know what I love? I love the passion, like what you're saying, and I'm studying what you're saying as a researcher. I'm trying to take it in and to compare what I've experienced out in the woods. You know what I mean? For a decade now, and it's funny because you could, not funny. I don't mean it like that, but it's strange because I could take it as you're saying it as a researcher and put it in these slots of experience. Do you know what I mean? Where it kind of fits, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then I'm like, I'm trying to. I think I got to take a little more time to take it all in. I think and process, because it is a lot of knowledge, and having the conversation with all of you is just a lot of knowledge in general. You know what I mean? And you take in the different aspects of this conversation, and I don't know about everybody else on the side, man. Absolutely, like mind blowing how much information you can gather, plus what you already know, plus what you've already experienced, plus what you're trying to figure out, and plus what you think you know.
Oh yeah,
That's the hard part, because you gotta teach the old dog new tricks, right? That's the hard part. You gotta unwind what you've learned and intertwine what you're hearing and learning, and that's the hard part. And that's where you grow, because it's with work. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, that's a lot of good insight on that, and I really appreciate it, because we've shown this as well, and our audience is very much loaded with critical thinkers. So when you bring these pictures back and add what you guys know to it, plus what I've discussed on the side with my audience, it's just amazing. A question. All right, I got a question here. Let's do a little quick Q&A, and then we'll wrap up. I got a bunch of more pictures here, and of all Wojo's work, and yeah, this is a lot of him in here, huh? Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. So real quick, I wanted to touch on this real quick. This is on the right side of the picture. You see the structure they built where the spine was hanging. And if Mountain Bucks is still here, this will kind of help a little bit, because the structure just appeared at the same time the spine did. And then when we brought the chair to the new location, Wojo, we stood behind it, this tree. We didn't notice it. You can't see it from the front. You have to stand behind it. He looks up and he goes, hey, man, that structure looks exactly like the one they built over by the chair. And immediately out of my mouth comes, oh, my God, they're trying to tell us to look for this structure. I mean, those two look pretty close, don't they? Isn't that wild?
I me personally, I felt that it was more of a calm thing, not like, oh, you got to get out of here now. And
Yeah.
And I just felt that that we do have, because again, what we're doing is just taking little bites in life right now on each investigation. Because we do so much information but we have to slow down. I mean, calm down and just actually, take a little bit at a time. And when this all happened at the old spot, I mean, the first thing we were mad about the gift, the hunting field. Now it's our reaction on what place is compromised. When I saw this list, I spoke to Ernie about it because I was going to make almost an identical one like that, which is the triangle. Excuse me, the rectangle.
Rectangle. Yeah.
And because it's their territory, their home. And I was going to try to have a message for Al-Anon, but then, with the bones in the tree, we had to do something. We don't want, again, our feeling was, we need to move it to a different area, and hopefully you could still have this communication and keep them safe. And I feel like they were trying to keep us safe.
Yep. I think a lot of that, man. No, I agree. And these things are just too close. And that's what I always say. You got to understand the context of the message that we're trying to convey to you.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you have to understand the story. And then you put one incident. One incident is when we find the chair, the hunter's chair, the tree stand. And then the one incident is coming up to the gifting chair and finding a spine and finding this structure. To me, that's two forms of evidence, right? It's like when you look at a track, a print, and say the peat moss, and inside that print is broken sticks from the weight of whatever made that print. To me, that's two pieces of evidence in one shot. That's a print, and you could see it was physically done because it had the weight to break the sticks. And those are the things that I try to really strive and push and let people understand that. It's like with the light in the woods. When you're there at a context, you watch it, it blinks, it moves, it does this with the head and all that. What we present to the world is this zoomed in picture that has a big casting light in front of it. So it's definitely harder without the context. You know what I mean? But for us, we have three pieces of evidence. You guys only have one because I just showed you the one. You know what I mean? So that's my point. And I think having conversation and dialogue respectfully is what I've been screaming about for a long time now. If you can see now that we're having this nice dialogue, I'm not over here saying to Don, you don't understand the context. What he's saying has a lot of knowledge behind what he's saying. But what I'm saying is there's three other pieces of evidence to it that unfairly nobody else is getting. They're just seeing the picture, and I can still fit what you're saying into the slots. That's the crazy part. That's what's blowing my mind.
This eye shine is when we're always walking out, and we know that they're walking us out, and they would just watch us, follow us out until we get to the trucks and we leave, just making sure we're safe and what have you. That's how I feel. I never feel any aggression or anything like that. And we do talk to them and meditate. And I did ask one question. Are we safe? Do you want us to leave or what have you, or do you want us to stay? And then you hear, ooh.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. I do want to say real quick, because we have gone over, I want to say to Elder, I know Elder had to go. She told me beforehand. Elder, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Elder.
We love and appreciate your guidance, and we respect you so much. And please tell the council we said thank you and hi, and thank you for their guidance as well. It's very meaningful to me that they're involved as the way they are, and I'm so honored and flattered that they are too. Thank you so much.
Hi, Konya. Hi, I also have a Zoom meeting with Robert Swan, so another brother I always speak with.
Good.
And we always collaborate with Sasquatch, I'll say, because people say, what's Satanga? That's I never heard. Like I said, all tribals have different names. We do have many different names for them. Mm-hmm. But I want to say many blessings. Young one, keep sharp.
She's talking to you, Sam. You're the only young one here. All right, maybe
Oh,
Dawn.
is she? I'm 16 every day, so
Sammy, honey, don't be afraid to speak up with whatever paranormal or anything natural. You know that I've told you. I will continue helping you in your learning more in Cherokee. But Eric,
Thank you.
Koine, thank you. It was honored to meet you. I have I have heard from the council from Canada about you too, and believe me, even young one here I knew, but he don't know me. But I have speak with other councils, and we get together. And got to get permissions, speak of what because of the native laws. But I do want to say I'm very honored, and everyone, please be safe. Many blessings and prayers be
Many
with you all.
blessings. Many
Yes,
blessings,
hi.
Elder. Thank you for being here. Have a good night.
Hi, hi.
yeah.
Hi. All right, so what we're going to do, we're over a little bit of time, but I'm going to give the audience, like I promised them, I'm going to give you a 10-minute Q&A session. You got 10 minutes to type your question. If you don't type your question in, I'm going to play the music and roll out. Ready, set, go. 10 minutes, move.
listening.
I would like to tell everyone reason why you don't whistle at night. I forgot to tell. Based on research in collaboration with multiple other tribes and other researchers, including myself, is that when you whistle at night, you draw Sasquatch in, and not only Sasquatch, you'll draw the skinwalkers. And the Sasquatch, there's always two or three, and the skinwalkers, there's always two. And if you hear whistling going on at night, there's always three of them. Like I was saying, is because they're hunting, and they're calling in when they whistle is player one, another whistle over here, player two, another whistle over there, player three. They're hunting. They're conducting their hunting at night. They're hunting the deer, whatever's available. And if you whistle, you're saying player number four is entering the game, type of deal. And they're like, who's player number four? Who's whistling over here? Let's go see who this is. And they're coming in, and they'll be pissed at you because you're ruining up their hunting at night.
Yes, D-Hood, I saw
Usually
that.
during the full moon.
No, thank you. And whenever they ask me who's whistling, I always tell them Wojo. I whistle and go, yeah, Wojo did that. So no, that's again the whistle thing. A lot of people don't understand the meanings of that and what it means, and that's informational as well. Dawn's take. Oh, I see your question, Ron. Hang on. D Hoot's been yelling at me all show. She typically does. What is your take on structures, Dawn? And one particular structure we have is an asterisk, kind of leaning against another tree. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is there any kind of meaning on that? Is that a clan marking? Is that a birthing place? Like what is that a home front? What does that mean to them? You think? What is your take on it?
The last picture, when I was looking at it, the very top remind me of a lean-to. We found two nests like that, but smaller to the ground. Just how it's like this and how it's leaned to another tree. So they made a nest like that, leaning into another tree, where it's like at one angle. Here's a tree right here, and it's like this at an angle. And they only left the frame layer attached, and it's all woven into that tree. And that's what it reminded me of. And they make their own nest for the parents, and they always make a separate nest for the baby. And they leave the baby in the nest at night while they're out hunting, out and about. And that baby will cry. If you get that baby, you'll start crying like a human baby, and the mama's gonna come out on all fours and SOL.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't do any of that stuff, Wojo.
Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah. A question: if doing those still, I read somewhere finding a great horned owl feather, it means you have a connection to the spirit world. I found one at my front door, and he doesn't live exactly in the woods. What it means to the what does that mean to the guests? Like, are you asking the panel like their opinion on what it means to find that?
Probably.
Ernie, you know anything about that?
Yeah, in gifting others, There's a lot of information out there online. That's why I recommend that everybody does too, because again, like what medicine elder Bear Claw was saying, what you're saying too, you got to remember the context. I.e., when we were talking about the rectangular glyph or structure, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it, Wojo.
Yep.
On the ground, it means one thing. Standing up, she made perfect sense. That was really telling you that that was a hunting area, and that was that guy's hunting area.
That's
And
crazy.
sure enough, when you went over there,
Yep.
there was that stand over there. Now,
Oh, yeah.
is there another one near there? You know, so you see where I'm going with that? We're
Yeah.
speaking about languages. So when you're being gifted something by, and you don't know what, okay, because you're not leaving anything out there yourself. It could have been a crow. Crows do the craziest things, okay, and I'm sure they wouldn't know it. Well, it was an owl feather, even though they don't like owls. Okay,
And
But look-
my second wife was a crow, but go ahead.
oh, okay, so
Craziest.
yeah, I recommend that the people look it up. And what does it mean to you and your soul? What is it? What does it mean to you? What do you feel when
Yeah.
you see that? Because you're going to see several listings online about what certain feathers mean.
Yeah.
And they do mean something to, depending on whether you're Navajo or Cree or whatever you are. That has symbolism for us.
Yeah.
Okay, like give you an idea. A blessing that was given to me when I was married was a feather, but I have to display that feather. And I have some guys say, well, you're not supposed to have that feather. Well, yeah, guess what? I can have that feather. You can't have that feather.
Yeah.
I got the feather, but I have to honor that and the person who gave it to me, and it has to be on display, and I have to be able to tell them the story and everything. So I recommend that you look that up and see where that meets you in your heart, and keep that feather, and maybe it'd be something that maybe you want to give some time to, if you go out in the woods or something.
Share,
but
and
look
share it
up.
back. Yeah, share it
Yeah,
back.
share it back.
Sam,
Look
you're
it
a
up. Put it in a
researcher.
special place.
Sam, you should research that. Get out your phone. Yeah, man, get out your phone. See, so when we're in the woods, this is the team we have. So Sparky's over here doing all the electronic stuff. Like he'll go back and clip stuff during our live events. Our live events are awesome. I really hope you guys, and I know Ernie pops in once in a while, but Dawn, I'd love to see you pop in and check us out. And Sparky would do that, but then all of a sudden Sam will be over here researching something that we found as well and trying to find the meaning to it, right? Sam, do you see anything on a great horned owl feather on your front doorstep?
I'll look into
Well,
it.
I'll look into it right now. I'm fast. All right, forget it.
I don't.
Whatever, Sam.
don't
No,
have
I
my
got
phone.
it, Sam. I'll produce too. Don't worry. I'll do everything. I'm fine. Okay. All right.
Well,
I'm gonna ask right now. Great fucking horned owl, fucking feather on my front fucking doorstep, please. Give me the fucking meaning. Thank you.
Oh no.
Sorry, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's okay. All right, let's see what it says.
Oh
Finding
my
it. Wait, great. A hornbill fella on your doorstep often symbolizes good luck, prosperity, strength, and spiritual connections. Have a good day. Look at Dawn. Dawn is really regretting this moment right now. Look at him. He's like, what have I done to myself? Yeah, sorry. Sometimes the medicine wears off, Dawn, and I go back to being me. My bad. My bad, bro. Sorry, man. Woo!
It's all good. I'm just listening.
Yeah, Sam, anything happened in your woods lately, Sam? How about that rapper you found? Where's that at, Sam? Yeah, nobody eats donuts at her house, by the way. Nope. Look at what. Look at.
It was.
Look at that tear. Does that look familiar to you?
Yep.
Yeah, you damn right.
It was found at my tree line on the trail that I showed you guys. It was laying there.
And nobody eats it, dude.
And I was like, that's crazy.
Dude.
And he told me to smell it. And I smelled it, and it's like, it's a nasty smell.
I always tell him, dude, the smell's bad. Go ahead. What you got, Dawn? What you got coming at me?
Would you guys like to hear how owls play a role in our culture?
Yes.
So all birds are really sacred beings. They're up there. You know what I mean? So the owl has a job. The eagle has a job. Those two birds have their own jobs. So the eagle will give you a message, good messages straight from the Creator, and the holy people, and the owl will do the same thing. But the owl how he delivers his message is similar to the eagle. When the eagle comes, we're supposed to go up to the owl and the eagle and ask and say, what's going to happen. You know, the eagle's going to give you good news. Then when the owl comes, we have to go up to the owl and we have to ask in our language, what's going to happen? What's the bad news? Go ahead, tell me. And the owl will give you the bad news from the creator. It will tell you, say, hey, so and so is going to come and attack. You know, your people is going to be enslaved. You know, stuff like that. It'll give you
Gives
the
you
bad
warning.
news.
Mm.
Yep, it'll give you warning. And in the witchcraft way, when people place witchcraft on each other, and the owl carries that message to that person too, the owl will attack that one individual person. That one individual person it will target. And that one person is being targeted by the supernatural forces of witchcraft. So, you know, spirits, everything it's a lot of things to explain, but they're explainable different topics, different episodes. So, you know, the owl has its role, and the owl is very sacred. So is the tree.
So Don, actually, a lot of different locations in our state that we've been to, and also up in New Hampshire. That the barred owls that you could hear woo 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 woo, and we know that it has a little hook to it, and I know that the the Satanis can possibly try to mimic other animals, like is it a call? Is it just I don't know. Sometimes we've been hearing it so many times in this past year. What would you think about something like that on mimicking other animals, where we just sit here and are they trying to draw you away, or they just try to draw you to kind of understand that they are around?
They're communicating back and forth with each other
Mm-hmm.
because you hear one, and the other one's right behind you on your six. They're
Yep.
distracting you, looking that way while this one's getting closer to your picnic basket,
Mm.
or getting closer to the trailer to go look at the little kid or your wife sleeping in the trailer, the camp trailer. So, or they can be digging in the trash on Apache reservation. Same time, one will be growling over here, and the other will be in the trash bin. And he would turn on the light, and he would come up from the trash bin. Everyone would be screaming.
Wow.
So they always do that. They have a distraction. They distract you.
Yeah, a lot of distractions.
There's always more than one.
I agree with that 100%. The distraction part of the game is crazy. We had it last night, and we have it most nights. And that's the other thing is the dogs that we have. So we'll be way out. It's about 3/4 of a mile off from where we park. It's way out nowhere. Nobody, there's nothing out there. And then all of a sudden you hear the dog stop barking from like 50 to 80 yards away, right? And you're like, what the hell's the dog doing? And it's a domestic dog. It's not the coyote. It's not, all that crap you hear from coyotes. This is back and forth like it's domesticated dogs. When we first heard it, I said, dude, is there a wild pack of domestic dogs out here? They're dangerous. I could, trust me, I could mess up a few coyotes. Domestic dogs are a little bit different on the wild. You know what I mean? Or domestic type of wild dogs or something like that. But anyways, in other words, you see like something that looks like an island. There's those island dogs and things like that. They're not coyotes. They're a lot more, they're stronger. They're more aggressive, and we would hear them and we'd go, okay, there's something going on over there. We better go look. And as we were walking, we walked 50 yards, 60 yards. And I go, dude, they're still 50 to 60 yards away. And then we would walk 50 or 60 more yards. I'm like, dude, they're still 50 or 60 yards away every time. And then we get out to the entrance where we're almost out of the place, and there's no dogs. Nothing. Not a peep. They just stop. And it did it to us. It still does it. I think it stopped because we caught onto it and they know it. Close to a dozen times. And before, I looked at Wojo and said, dude, they got to be mimicking freaking dogs, dude, because every time the dogs bark, we think there's some action over there, and we're like, go see the dogs. You know what I mean? And we're like, yeah, we're just playing. We're playing into what they're doing, and we're leaving the area they want us to. And then all of a sudden, the dogs stop barking. So I said, I'm not leaving no more. I don't care. They can play that game all they want. And they did. They were barking back. I'm like, no, not today. I'm not doing it, So I don't know. That's something that we've dealt with on a regular basis, and we know where the dogs are. This is not a neighborhood. This is just a street with a couple of houses on it. Where they are, you are not hearing them where we are. Never mind hearing them like they're next to you.
Right.
You can listen to some of my lives, and you hear like I have a pet dog walking with me, barking the whole time through the whole investigation. But the first 100 episodes, there's no dogs barking. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's these dogs barking for like 30 episodes. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then the other night, we were like, where's the dogs? And we finally got them going a little bit, but not like they have. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Listen, we have a set of recordings. I've talked about it plenty of times. I talked to the producer and director about it today. If there was ever a place that I would present those recordings to let the world hear, totally unique, totally different, that would be the people I would share with. And that's where those recordings would go worldwide, because I'm not just letting them go out to anybody. And I don't want to just share them with anybody. And I don't want to disgrace or anything like that or disrespect with anybody. Our goal is, just so you know, Dawn, you're here. I know Ernie does, Elder does, Sam does. Our goal is to let the world know that they're here. We don't need a body, and that we can understand one another peacefully. You know, the five hands, right? We can all understand one another peacefully. And if I have to kind of go against some things, I will, in order to do that. Because what's going to happen eventually as the woods disappear, the humans are going to be, wanting to protect themselves from these creatures. And there's going to be a problem. Something bad's going to happen. And everything that I've had, the way you've explained your encounters as more aggressive, and I haven't had that. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. We had a bluff charge. I have been flanked where I was nervous a couple of times, but not to that extent. I was growled at one time. I got that on my phone. That was more like I could kill you if I want to, but I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? Because he definitely could have. He was right there.
Too, yeah.
And so we've had those things, but I feel there's a lot of good in what we're researching. I feel that there's a lot of good in there, and I want to pull that good out and share it with the world, and hopefully it ends that way. And if I get torn apart, like you said, my goal is to let you guys know what their privates are.
Rich, I just want to touch on something for your audience on it, because we're also talking about sounds and things like that. One of the things that a short rabbit hole that I went down is ancient language evolution and why we can talk. And humans can mimic an awful lot of animals.
True.
And I can bona fide, I can tell you, I've seen that they can whistle just like a man can whistle. So because of ancient language evolution, it takes the 12th nerve. Okay. And that nerve or muscle has to be exercised. That's your tongue. Okay. Your tongue coupled with your jaw in the shape of your mouth with your teeth enables us to speak. Plus the way our lungs are and we stand upright. They can copy absolutely anything. I've heard that whistle during hunts. It's drawn some of our hunters away from the hunting party who got lost. You're spot on, where they can mimic it so well. I'm not going to say all of them can, because there are birds, if you study that, which I have, I've gone down that path also, that you can get a nuthatch, and all of a sudden you get the 10th nuthatch to land, and it'll sound just a little bit different than the other nuthatches, because it's just not as developed. Maybe it's a little off or something. Okay. But they stand out because of that. They can copy those sounds, and like Richie's saying, that the pack, if it was a pack of coyotes or even a pack of wild dogs that were serious, they would have stayed where they were or even moved in on you. They wouldn't have kept the distance. That wanted to keep the distance from you. And I'm going to go back again on the feathers real quick here. Okay. It's you can get an interpretation, a lot of interpretations, but what I drive at is, what are they trying to teach us? Okay. Is to become more connected with nature in itself. And you'll find that every one of the nations, indigenous nations, we pretty much all say the same thing. You know, it might be, even in Cree, it might be one word that means many things. Okay. So when you get to the feathers, you know, they have a symbolism, a symbolic meaning to them when you tell your story at the council. You know, you get a feather for that. Okay, you can get a feather for that, but it has to be told to the council. It has to be told to them, like people like Elder Medicine Bear Claw. They have to hear that. Okay. So you have to take into the situation that you are in. Everything is in context in there. But again, lastly, it's ancient language evolution. And that puts them into the realm of where we are. We are not the top. We're definitely not the top. Because yeah, if we were, we wouldn't have all these questions. And like other people are saying, we can't give you all the information all at once. It would be overwhelming for you, and it would take you, it would separate you from what your dogma is. Okay, because then you're going to, it'll separate you from, for people to understand that word, from your church or whatever. It separated me growing up being a Roman Catholic, and then this happened to me. I had to start questioning everything and finding out about this, and then going back on my ancestry and finding out that what was it that happened, really happened. And Chief Ernest put it into context for me. Is that day for me, I walked in two worlds. And when I go to the woods, that's where you guys are. It's your frame of mind. It's your peace. It's your connection with the earth. You know, that you're letting all this information come into you like a Sherlock Holmes. It's not that a person is really, really psychic. It's they're more in tune, and they're picking up all this information that's coming to them and being able to parlay it back to you guys. You know, so you're spot on. You guys are spot on. These, they can mimic anything, and occasionally you might get one of them that maybe can't do it as well as all the other ones. So they're gonna, that barred owl. And we went through this when we were up in the Cabo Mountain area there. You know, and thank you, Don, because you're speaking of the white ones. And yes, indeed, they are old. They are old, and there's been 3 of them recorded just in that one area that I was in. You know, so, and I guesstimated them at about 150 years from going back and looking at all the records all the way down into Connecticut and up, which was about a 75-mile area. You know, they're in that area, and that is my belief. Okay, I'm very interested in what they have to offer us. As you can all. I kind of already know, but I'm hoping that other people that will listen to it and be ready, because you're at a war between good and evil right now. We can say it's this person or that person. You can hate whoever you want to hate, but that's a bad word. You take that word and throw that word away, you know, and you're going to come to the same conclusion. It's if it is a spiritual battle, it's going to be fought on the spiritual realm. And if you're physical, then you better be prepared to fight on that spiritual realm. As in, for you people that like the woo, as in the days of Noah. And if you don't know what that means, investigate it, because I think that's where you are right now. That's where we are. We are witnessing something that has been there for an extremely long time. You can believe that they're Nephilim or whatever you want to believe that they are. Okay. But you won't know until you see one and you're able to communicate with it. And thusly, you know, when you can't, if we were back 150 years ago, Don and I probably, if I understood my own language, we would not be speaking our language. We would be using sign. That's a universal sign. And many people think that, well, you know, his sign is going to be the same as my sign. It'll be close enough. It'll be close enough with the emotion that we will understand that. And that's where they are. You know, it's all about the context of what is going on at the time that is transpiring. You know, when you're speaking with people, you have to watch their emotions. That is, and we've been scared here by Don tonight a little bit, but I'm going to scare you all right now. Okay, you just had something taken away from you over the past 6 years, starting in 2020, when you were told to wear a mask. That wasn't for you. That was for the children, because the children learn by watching your facial expressions.
Mm.
And if they can't see your facial expression and they really can't hear your words, they have nothing to put it together with. So it's a lot easier to fool them. Okay. Because they're watching for something like that. They're watching for the lie, or we do,
Mm.
but please be more spiritual. And that's what Richie and Wojo are doing. And that's Don. When you're out there, that is the first thing. And Elder, she said it too. The blessings. We should not forget that, to make those blessings before we go in, and maybe even while we're in there, depending on what we're doing. And then when we come out, I don't know a single Indigenous person that would go out and deer hunting or anything like that, not offer the blessing and not offer a piece of what you have. I do know that these calm beings, or I like forest people, will leave you a piece of that. They'll bring you things. I have stories from people who won't speak of it, who won't come forward out of fear of being ridiculed and stuff.
Yep.
And me personally, yeah, I've been so ridiculed that it's like you couldn't possibly tell me something that I have not heard,
Right.
And I have all I can do to keep my mouth shut when I see red circles everywhere.
No, that part is true. I know that 100%, and that's why listen. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. No, there's so many things that go into this, and thank you for the kind words, because we do try to keep it spiritual, and we do try to keep it peaceful and respectful. And we're just a couple of dudes that are curious as hell, that have grown into something that we never even bargained for, to be quite honest with you. There's so many things from the left and the right and in front of us, behind us, that it's hard to gather it all in sometimes. And that's okay. I got time. I want to process it. I feel honored and I feel chosen the way it came about my life. And what we're dealing with, it's an energy in a sense, like we all are energies, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I'm dealing with a primitive human on a high level of frequency, on a high energy. And that's what I feel. Just like psychic mediums are on a different energy or different field or a different frequency level. That's what I feel I'm dealing with. And therefore they have different abilities and different ways of communication, different ways of blessing me, man. I've been blessed. I've been blessed. And now I'm learning, now that they've taught me, I'm learning their ways. I'm learning how they want to be respected, and in which way. And the moving of the gifting chair, the repositioning and relocation of the gifting chair has helped me grow as a person. And it sounds maybe a little corny to some, but it's a feeling you have to understand, not the words that I'm saying. They communicated with us. And they communicated with us because they respected us, because we're doing it correctly, apparently, and because they cared and they wanted their damn food on top of that. But when I realized that they communicated to Wojo and I can't tell you how special I felt. Because it wasn't like we're just going to walk away. We're nomadic. We'll just go 10 miles that way where there's not as many hunters and we'll be fine. But wait, we got to tell the guys, and that's what it felt like. And to me, that's an honor. And when you can have something like that happen in your life, and it has, people, everybody on the side, Kurt, Benno, Sparky, Country, Sam, everybody, we've all experienced that together. This is virtual. This is you guys are part of this. You know how I feel. This is interactive. This is your investigation too. This is your research as well. These are your ideas we're using all together as one, as people. And that's what we're trying to show, right? Like Dawn started off the show. We all have this, right? That's what we have, right? Let's get them up, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
On the screen, touch it.
Yeah. We're humans. We're all one. We're people, And I thought that what Dawn said was quite profound, and I thank you for sharing that, because that's deep. That's deep for me. With the life that I've led and where I am today, that's deep for me. That means a lot to me, and it's so simplistic, that most of dumbass humans won't get it. You got to get it, man. This is it. So that's what me and Wojo are at. Wojo, you've done an outstanding job with your communication skills and talking with people and going outside of your own person and reaching out to other people. No egos here, man. Your ego will get you killed. I'll tell you that in many different ways. It's a bad thing. So it's not as good as people think. They say be confident. Don't be an egotistical asshole. There's a difference, right? So I want to thank everybody for being here. Don, what a great pleasure it is to have you on my screen and in my studio. Thank you for sharing your point of view, your angles, and your wisdom. And thank you for talking about your people. And that means a lot, you know?
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, welcome to the family, bro. I mean, if that's okay with you, I am a little weird at times.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Trust me. I always tell everybody I have to grow on you like fungus. You know what I mean? It's a slow process. You kind of don't like it, and then you're like, he's kind of funny, and then you don't like it again, you know? But anyways, here we are.
What?
Everybody on the side, I want to thank you all. You guys know how I feel about you. I appreciate you guys. We'll be going out live again. I'm hoping on Sunday, but Wojo's got some kind of super top secret going on he's not telling me about. Because I said, hey, you want to go out Sunday? He's like, oh, yeah, maybe, possibly. So, but anyways, I want to go out during the day. Sundays, you can't hunt. I don't have to worry about it. I can run around the woods naked, the color of the deer, and be fine and free. So, thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Don Yazzie. We put up his link. You know where you can find him. Look him up. You probably can just Google him. Ernie as well. Sam's pretty paranormal, our great producer. We love you. We love having you here. She made her debut last night on Dark Realm TV.
Way to go, Sam.
Where fear lives.
Well, congratulate her first. Then
every time I say it, you're supposed to say it. Show
some respect for the lady. Don't be bashing the cornbread mofo.
Dark Realm TV.
Where fear lives.
Heyo! Check her out over there. Sam's going big time. We appreciate you guys. Catch us on Media Squatch, HLO Outdoors, and of course, Dark Realm TV. And what an absolute crazy, fun, exciting episode we just had with some legendary people in our podcast. Thank you. I'm so truly blessed for having you and for you being here. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. You got to hit the notify button. Because I don't know if you saw the screen tonight. There's all kinds of crazy stuff out there. And they're very interested in Wojo and I. So make sure you join us, please, on those live events. Thank you again on the side, everybody. Lori Ladd, Forrest, love you all. Pamela, thank you. I'm sorry you got here a little bit late, but check out, rewatch the episode is what I'm trying to say. Tim Vogel, love you, bro. Hugs for you, Tim. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I love you, baby Jack. I love you, mama. Wojo, get us out of here. This is what we do. You do. I do. Sam does. Go.
All right. Hey, thank you all for being on the air. And remember, we are home of the boom. See you.
Let's go. Thank you, everybody, for being